I didn't really know the weight of the tractor, and that was the first time I ever pulled her. And today, let's talk about today. I put her in a 16,000 pound class. I put her in turret gear. They were all 280, 290. One was 310, maybe 312.
And you were?
I put her in at 370 feet right in the sand pond. The only mistake I made, I didn't put her right in the registration booth with the girl.
Let's make some noise. Good running. John Deere out of Ocean, Iowa coming up. We got one right behind you.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Let's Grow Pulling every Monday night at 8 o'clock Central Standard Time. And welcome to our post-Diesels and Dark Corners Roundtable edition. Folks, we're joined by some of the who's who, some of the top stories from this past weekend in White Plains, Georgia. I am Mike Idle, on here as often as I can be. And our typical host, Jason Schultz, is behind the scenes. He's going to be running production this evening as he is en route to Madera, California, traveling across West Texas right now, bouncing around and hammering down in the motorhome. So, gentlemen, welcome to Let's Grow Pulling. Thank you for being here, and congratulations to each of you on your contributions and your success at Diesels and Dark Corners. What a big one it was. We've got with us this evening, we've got Nick Headley, Jesse Warren, Ference Vey, Monty Craig Miles, Xander Lee, as well as Ryan Merritt. Ryan Merritt, of course, the kind of the brains behind, or the visionary behind Diesels and Dark Corners. And Ryan, I think you're still with us on audio, and I just want to say what an awesome event. We'll start with you. Ryan, what'd you think of the biggest edition of this pull so far?
It was something for the books. It was spectacular. All the pullers putting on an awesome show, and all the fans packing out all the bleachers and the grounds. It was something very impressive.
It was a well-ran event. Folks, if you've not been to Diesels and Dark Corners, first of all, you can go back and rewatch all 19 glorious hours of nonstop diesel pulling at fullpull.live for just $39.99 a month. You will get your entire yearly money worth just by going back and replaying these pulls. It was truly a marathon. The folklore around this pull, it's turned into an event in and of itself. We had 175 trucks go down the track both Friday and Saturday night. It was a 10-hour pull on Friday. They bumped up the start time on Saturday. They got us out of there no later than a typical pull would end at around 12:30, still around a 9-hour show, and you can go back and watch all of it. Definitely worth watching. But yeah, Ryan, the fans hung in with us very well, I thought, considering the length of the pull and how long those pulls went on. So you had to be pleased with the fan turnout, I assume.
Yes. Very pleased.
Absolutely.
It was a lot of hours of pulling.
It's one of those things, if you're a pulling fan, you need to go and see it just to say that you have done it. So the way this is going to work, gentlemen, I'm just going to go right down. I'm going to go down my list of guests here, and we're going to kind of hit one driver at a time, and I'm going to hit you each with one question at a time. But as we discussed backstage, you're all pullers. Definitely jump in with your opinions on what you saw out there. So in no particular order, just the way I have them written down, the first individual that we're going to talk to, Nick Headley, in the Bender Edition Super Stock Diesel 4-wheel drive truck, Saturday night winner. Let's ask the obvious question first. Nick, what's it mean to win Saturday night at Diesels and Dark Corners?
Oh, man. Really doesn't make sense. Body from find where the name finder is from. I've been name on it, so I decided to bring Chaos 7, and we weren't expecting to get it dialed in. Car here it means a lot to one of the best I've had fully.
Now, Nick, your audio is kind of jumping in and out on us, so we might want to double check some internet issues on that. We were able to hear you say it definitely meant a lot to you, but we're going to circle over to Jesse Warren really quickly, and we're going to double check some of the internet and audio, just make sure everything's connected good over there, and we'll circle back to you. I have some questions for you. Jesse Warren, driver of the Pro Stock diesel truck, call it shark bait. First question for you. You were my pick to win. You were my full pull picks on our pre-show. I selected you in the 3-6 class. You were on a whale of a pass. Let's talk about Friday night. You had a full head of steam built up, and then some gremlins snuck up into the truck. Tell us what happened Friday night, and tell us what adjustments and what you were able to wrench on and fix and get going for Saturday night for your big pass on Saturday.
We actually run. It's not a pro stock truck. We actually run a big 5-inch Charger. We run full pull. So, but yeah, we're a little bit above the pro stocks. But then Friday night we had a pretty good run. We had a little bit of fire under the hood. We had the turbo blanket, the way our truck's set up, and the way the front manifold designed that turbo blanket. Right, it's right on the manifold where it comes forward. There, it's really hard. There's really not much way around it. So we had a little bit of fire there, and then when I think I sprayed a little bit, and we have electronic water injection on that truck, and it caused they sprayed it. It actually caused one of the micro switches to kick on. We had some water get in the engine after we were pulling it out back to the pits again. So then we had to go through the engine a little bit. We didn't make a whole lot of adjustments for Saturday, and Saturday it went really well. I was really happy with the weekend. Everything went really well.
So when we see the picture of that truck right there, we can see the WDI right on the side of it. And I want to give you a chance to kind of talk about what that is. I heard the announcer say, and I thought this was a great call on his part, that WDI has been working really hard to put themselves on the map, that you guys have been doing everything to get out there. And the announcer kind of called in live time. He felt that your past Saturday night was where you guys really kind of put your stake in the ground and said, you know, this WDI is the real deal. And that's something folks should be paying attention to. So kind of take this as a chance to tell the world about WDI.
Well, it's been a struggle. We've been in this for quite a while, and we're not quite where we need to be. I feel we still run electronic UE injection. That's what those trucks come with. Those engines come with. We've been working with that for a number of years now. We're actually planning on next season. We'll probably have a new truck out. We're going to go to the full mechanical engine probably. Well, it's been a long road getting to where we are at now. And that truck you see there, that's pretty much everything we make for that is in house. We make our own billet block. We have our own billet heads. I think pretty much the only thing original on that engine is the crankshaft. We make pretty much every part of that engine down to the injectors. We do everything in house there. And what you see there and what we did down there this last weekend is about as far as we can possibly go with the Huey injection, I feel. We might have a little bit more left in it, but I don't see a lot. We're not quite on what Nick Hadley got there. That's the next level stuff. So we really need to go to the mechanical pump in order to compete at that level. But where that truck's at now, I'm pretty happy with it.
Yeah, I think that truck is definitely an X factor. That's the way I kind of view the shark bait truck. It's one of those that can show up anywhere, and people are going to kind of hold their breath a little bit, knowing that at any given point, it's going to run right up in there in the top 3 and even grab a win. So a very impressive display. I want to talk to Ference along with you a little bit. Ference, you guys pulled in the same class with Nathan behind the wheel. You guys are running a true Ford under the hood, and I believe Jesse Warren, you're running something similar, correct? Running a 6.0, is that right, Jesse?
Yeah, when it comes to that, yeah, we're both. They run a true Ford. We run a true Ford, and from what he told me this weekend, I think they're still running the true Ford injection system, same as we are. But we got the Huey injection. It's a little inconvenient sometimes, but we're right there. We're all the same about when it comes to that.
Ference, kind of pick up right where he left off. Tell us about your Ford power plant and just why it is you guys stick with that and how the truck represents that.
Yeah, I mean, Jesse and us, we've known each other for a long time, and we're kind of the flagship for the true Ford equipment. We have a 6.7 that's a Hypermax motor, and we actually have this. We have two versions. We have a electronic, common rail motor, which they actually have it right now doing some more R&D. So we have the P-pump version of the motor in the truck right now. And it seems the common rail seems like it has a little bit more opportunity to make some more power, but it has a few more bugs that go along with that. Whereas the P pump that we use this weekend has a little bit more consistency. So we're wrapping up some R&D on the common rail, probably by first of the year sometime, and get it back in there for maybe next spring or something. We'll have to see.
So, Ference, you had a really interesting weekend. Your son was out there. He was going to war on that awesome power track, and you were kind of our old reliable commentator. Jason always says, go find us someone fun to talk to, find us someone to put in the trailer. You spent an extensive amount of time commentating and color announcing alongside Dan Mayer in the full pull booth. What was that like?
Oh, that was a hoot. Nate had a big monster pass Saturday night. Friday night was a little bit of a struggle. And right after I came off the track both nights, you and Dan hollered at me about coming in the booth and being the color commentator for the super stock class. So I just jumped in there, and boy, we just made a big time of it and just talked about the behind the scenes stuff going on with folks. And, like the story with Van Hazley and his grandson Trip. And we talked about that and the different guys, what kind of setups we got. I was even teasing about my buddy Jesse there a little bit. I said, Jesse's going to go down the track turning, 8 million RPMs. And sure enough, he did. And we just had fun. And Dan's a great guy to work with.
Oh, yeah.
And we just had a big time.
Absolutely. So kind of transitioning into that super stock diesel class that you were able to comment with Dan, you guys have jumped up into that class. I know this past year at the Pullers Championship and even at the National Farm Machinery Show, I think that you've dabbled in that class as well. What's it like bouncing back and forth between the two classes?
Well, back before Hypermax asked us to field test this 6.7, we had the big block. We had the 7.3 in there. And it seemed like at that time it was a little easier to do it. We had the 3.6 on there. We just, knock a few bolts loose, stick a 4.4 or whatever we had available at the time. I think it was a 4.4. It was a 5.1 frame with a 4.4 inducer, and just, stick it on there and turn the pump up a couple turns and go play with the big boys. And actually that platform had a lot of success with that bigger charger on there, more so than it did in our home class. It's always an honor to get up there with those guys because we're buddies with all of them, just like we are with our class. Kent and Van and just all of them. They're all great guys too, and everybody gets along and very competitive, but friends and family out in the pits.
Absolutely. That's what pulling's all about. You briefly mentioned the awesome story of Trip Hazley picking up his first career victory Friday night in the legendary truck. I interviewed Trip once he took the lead and then kind of talked to him throughout the night on Friday. And he was in a good way. I mean this as a compliment, but he was shaking. He was visibly, the nerves were there. The excitement was there. And he was over the moon to walk away with that win. But I will tell you, there was only one driver that I saw that was more pumped up and more fired up and more excited when he claimed his victory, and that's another young gun. Point this direction. Xander Lee in the farm truck picking up the win out of 61 competitors in the limited pro stock diesel trucks. Now, Xander, I've got to tip my cap to you, man. I pulled you over. We did a driver's side interview. This was like right before you got your win, and you held your composure. You were in the truck, and you were, just as calm and cool and professional. And the minute I walked away and we got off camera, I think you jumped out of that truck and did all but a backflip. What emotions were running through you? Tell us about that excitement. Boy, you were fired up.
It was just a next level amount of excitement. That was actually the first win I've had this year, and it was at Diesel and Dark Corners. It was just so much emotion. It's kind of hard to explain how much emotion I felt. It was just a next level feeling.
You were the absolute poise of professionalism. I think I asked you a question, and you started to say that was and you bit your tongue and you swallowed the word that you wanted to say because you knew we were on live TV. You're like, that was really good. And I was like, well done, man. Well done. 61 trucks. But you guys did something. It's the little things in pulling that make the difference. And I don't know if it was your dad or your crew chief, whoever typically runs with you. He stood down at the end of the track where I was working 20 vehicles before you hooked and was taking notes and was, just examining and studying that track all about the line. He was telling me this is all going to be about where we put that cone and decide to run. What did he tell you when you got up to the line? What adjustments or what did you see in that track that led to the victory?
Well, everybody was running down the right side and was going further, but we saw people going down the left side and they were clocking in several more miles per hour. So we realized that was the side, but there was a little bit of a soft spot at the end. But after, I believe it was the full bore machine, the full bore truck that that went 31. No, it wasn't full bore. Who was it? I don't remember. Whatever truck went 31 feet, we knew that was the spot. And we lined our truck up right there and we just made a good pass.
It was hauling the mail. You come and hook with the Outlaws a handful of times throughout the year. And when I work with Ron Stone, the primary announcer, the voice of the Outlaws, we always check our sheet. And he always looks for your truck because he always says the farm truck out of Texas, that's another one of those X factors. And when he shows up to pull with us throughout the summer with the Outlaws, he says, it's a big pull. You're going to have to be on your A game. Tell us about your whole season. Did you grab a good amount of success throughout the year?
Well, we swapped over from a P pump to the common rail, so I had a little bit of a struggle, a little bit of a learning curve because it's quite a bit different driving a common rail over a P pump. But towards the end of the season, I started gaining a little more momentum in the truck, and I mainly got. I've had several seconds and thirds, but we gained a lot more momentum towards the end of the season.
Yeah, absolutely. And boy, if you're going to have the crown jewel somewhere, why don't you reach over there? I know it's sitting close to you. Show us the hardware, buddy. The Diesels and Dark Corners belt. And you put that thing on like a wrestling champ when they were interviewing you trackside, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
Was it more fun to win or more fun to have your picture taken with the belt surrounded by the full pull Pix girls?
Well, I feel like the entire event was all together was just a great time, in my opinion.
That's awesome.
A favorite part.
That's awesome. So yeah, bringing home the hardware. Of course, if you win Saturday night, Diesels and Dark Corners in their selected classes, you get the belt, one of the more unique crown jewel trophies that we have in all of pulling. So top-notch performance. Let's slide over and go to the big iron. Let's talk to Monty Craigmile and the Limitless. The semis out there, you guys have a different name for them. I would typically here in the Midwest call that or liken that to like a pro stock semi. Now you guys called these like what, hot street or pro street? What do they label this class out there?
They've labeled it 4-1 for the most part. And of course, just depends on which corner of the earth you're at. You get
right.
Nothing different anymore in our class, unfortunately. but most of the time we're calling it a 4-1 class.
Of course, referencing you guys are running a single charger, running that 4.1 charger, just like the 9500 Limited Pro Stock tractors would run. Tell us about your experience this weekend. What were your biggest takeaways, and what was it like walking away with a victory on Saturday night?
Well, Georgia has always been our nemesis for the last, well, this is our 3rd year there. The first year we went, we had to make some changes right before we went down. So we started on like Wednesday, Thursday, we worked all day. We worked all night, got done at 5 o'clock in the morning, jumped in the truck, loaded it, headed south, got down there and hooked that night and made it maybe 3 foot before it busted the rear end out. And then the next year, last year, we couldn't hook up. We were running that cab over and we never could make that whole thing work. So after kind of the changes, the sleds kind of started changing how they started loading our hitch a little bit. And really, we couldn't make that whole factor work for us. So then we built a whole new truck this winter. And we were happy to see, to get that nemesis off our back this year.
Kind of a monkey that had been plaguing you. Now, you guys had a pretty big class too, double-digit number of semis that ran through there. How many did you have in your class? Do you remember?
I don't know. I don't remember. It was a very good turnout for our class.
How does that Georgia clay, especially that bright red dirt, that surface that we pulled down there in Georgia, talk to us about track conditions and what you thought of that power track?
Well, that's what we like. I mean, we want a power track. That's what works best for us. But Saturday, we decided to change a hitch, which was a very bad idea. We ended up moving it around, and it flat shook me to death. I can't believe it made it off the track. Going down the track, I said, there's no way I'll make it to the end. And I just wouldn't let out of it because I was really tired of that monkey that rode me the whole time. So she made it to the end. Luckily enough, made a pass, but it was a pretty bad pass, but it still played out.
Yeah, I think when we spoke about it, the first thing I said was like, man, you had a lot of speed. And you actually said, well, the miles per hour were less than what we felt we had in that truck due to some of that hopping and jumping. But you know what? It was enough to get the job done, right?
Yeah, I mean, we lost that. We lost that run off the line. That was the biggest factor because, we lost that first 150 foot. And we shook so bad, and that's where we really need to get up and get going. And we couldn't get that, but it still played out okay.
Yeah. Let's check back in with Nick and see if we can get some audio here because Nick, I got to speak with him and his dad quite a bit before the pull on Saturday, and they're running a neat setup, and I learned a lot about super stock diesel.
Slowly brings her up. Bring him up too fast and you just fall right on his face. Won't run at all.
Nick, what gives you more goosebumps, just watching the speed you had on that pass or hearing the crowd go ballistic like they did?
Well, can you hear me now?
You're crystal, buddy. We've got it resolved.
Awesome. Oh, man, I think it was the crowd more than anything when I got jerked back on the track. That was probably the most intense crowd I've been around when it came to polling. Them people really, they made it fun. They made it a lot of fun. And to go back to what I was saying, this truck is a new setup. I think that was only like the 15th pass on the truck. I bent the frame on the other truck, and I had to steal the body off of it. And that's where I was saying it's named Binder Edition because the other truck has an international motor in it. We brought this Cummins out, and it's a Chaos block with a Performance Pros chassis. And we've got a good friend named Dave Sapp that we've been working hard on tires with. And we went back to the Weimer fueling, and it's out pretty well for us.
Now, we were talking before the pull about cast iron versus aluminum and about 2 chargers versus 3 chargers. And you were kind of talking about, or your dad was talking about, well, with 2 chargers, you don't have to worry about waste gates and as much pressure management. You can kind of just push them to the limit and get just as much right out of them. So you guys kind of choose that cast iron and that twin setup. Tell the world about just about that right there.
Yeah, we were used to getting big boost out of our International motor with that twin Weimer setup that we were running. We were always hanging up over 200 pounds of boost with it. And when Chaos came out with this new hard block, we knew that was the ticket for our way back into the Cummins world. And with the aluminum, you can't run big boost numbers like that, and it stay together as long as these cast iron ones do. And like you said, the waste gating and all that extra stuff, I mean, it's not very difficult. It's just extra to me. We don't see the reason for putting massive chargers and a 3 charger setup on when you're only going to use half the boost that they're actually capable of producing. So that's where we stand with that, and I'm pretty confident in our horsepower with our twin charger setup.
So the narrative of the super stock diesel class, and all you guys diesel truck pullers, you can kind of, say yay or nay or shake your heads or thumbs up on this. I thought the 17 trucks in the super stock diesel class that pulled at Diesels and Dark Corners on Friday and Saturday was as impressive of a super stock diesel truck class as I had maybe ever seen. I mean, that was, you guys just entirely as a class put on a whale of a show.
Hey, the shark bait.
Love that run, and we'll circle back and talk about that. I've got a question for all of you guys on that run, kind of just put it in perfect perspective. But to finish up with Nick really quick, Nick, the only thing you had to do at your hook position was get around Tripp, who went 370 the night before and won. Well, Craig Dickey got around him, so all you had to do was get past the rock hard ram and then get past the Cummins killer, of course, your national champion in the Grand National division. What's going through your mind when you know you've got those 2 trucks parked out there in the 1 and 2 spot, and those are the ones you've got in your scope?
Well, I pretty well figured out that dirt and that sled was a lot different than anything we're usually on, and that we were capable of using all of our horsepower. I seen how early they got in the throttle and learned from the previous night, and I was pretty certain I had enough under the hood. I just didn't know if we had our chassis got enough to catch them. And luckily, we were able to make that happen.
Now, this question is for everybody, and I want just whoever feels that they can answer this question to jump on in and answer it. Looking at the shark bait run that we had right there, to me, it looked like there were 2 very key points in winning at Diesels and Dark Corners, and that was going to be how aggressively or how gingerly you drove out of the hole, and then how much speed you had to carry you through the back end. As we see the shark bait truck kind of wasted no time getting onto it, but then skated with all that speed at the end. Was this track one where you were going to win it in the first 100 feet or in the final 330 feet? For all you drivers, tell me what you thought out there when you were driving.
I personally thought it was the first foot. You had to let your horsepower get out.
Jesse, would you agree with that? It looked like on your run, as we look at the replay, that you were not bashful whatsoever getting into the throttle. Was this one where you were going to have to find that hookup very early on in the whole shot?
Yeah, I think it was. From what I've seen, that sled was a little bit heavy out of the hole, just a little bit, and that track was able to take power out of the hole pretty good. And I kind of stumbled onto that a little bit. I run a big single 5-inch charger, and if I go out easy, I'm going to fall into the charger. So I didn't have an option. And when I think the first night when I ran, some of the guys seen how well the track took it, and that's when they kind of figured out they better come out harder.
The rest of you drivers, would you agree with that? It was all about the hole shots this weekend when we talked about the semis and the 3.0 trucks as well, and then we'll circle up here to Hank and give him a chance to chat with us a bit. But
that
you know,
that Mike, that Saturday night track, Kurt Hazley always famously says, being overly aggressive, you can always sometimes salvage a good hook, but being too passive, you never will. Well, that track was definitely for the aggressive type drivers, and the guys that weren't scared to come out there and just go on and bend the throttle over and put the power down to the track, they were gone for a ride. I told Nate in our class when he came out, and that was the best run he had of the weekend, and he laid down a heck of a run Saturday night. Came up a little short, but I said, when you come out of the hole, go about the length of the truck and just pour it all away, give it all it's got. And by the time he hit the first flag, man, the tires were 1-to-1 with the ground. I mean, you know, he was gone.
Yeah, it's not very often that you can get on a track that will take almost anything you put at it.
Yeah.
Xander, how far down the track were you before that right hand was completely forward?
Probably. Well, at least how I drive, I give it full stick, about 10 foot off the line. I don't know if that's the correct way to do it, but that's just how I like to give it 100%.
Grab that belt again and show us, because you just said you're not sure if that's the correct way to do it. There's your answer. There. Yeah, you just wear that thing over your shoulder for the rest of the show. Let's come up here and talk to Hank really quick. He's been waiting patiently. We'll make him the center of things here. Hank, just go ahead and introduce yourself and give us your takeaway and what you were able to do and see this weekend at Diesels and Dark Corners.
Yes, sir. Hank Carlton, I guess, co-owner of Liberty Truck and Pool with Ryan down there, and I saw a good event. I saw a lot of people that come a long ways to support us. A lot of good sponsors. It was a event for the record books, in my opinion, and not a lot of issues, and that's all we look for down here, is to put on a good event, not have a lot of issues, and make people have a good time down here. And I think for the most part, I think everyone did. You know, because like you said, the track was good. I think that's, a lot of times these super stock guys come down and I think they wait too long to get in the throttle down here. It's a little bit of a different animal than what they're used to, and I think these guys are starting to figure that out. And I'm not going to say it's the best track out there, but I mean it's a good one most of the time.
More than one puller told me that this is their favorite track. Craig Dickey said point blank, he was quoted as saying, "This is the best track and my favorite place to pull." When you've got a grand national champion quoting that, that's a representation of obviously a great track. And you wouldn't have, some of my friends back home were saying, why is this as big as it is? How do you get 61, 62 trucks in a single class? And that was kind of my short and quick answer. I said, pullers love to pull on good pulling surfaces. You don't get those numbers without building an awesome track. Ryan, tell us a little bit about that, and then tell us what you saw from the fans too. What was the vibe and the atmosphere like? It was rocking Saturday night, brother.
Yeah, the fans don't. Georgia fans don't really get to see anything like this, so once a year, and they're very excited, and it showed on Friday and Saturday night. They were, you could hear it when somebody made an impressive pull. You could hear the fans roar over everything. So it was they come out and had a great time. Your announcers do an absolutely incredible job as well. You have probably
the man who's known as maybe the best hype announcer when it comes to enthusiasm. And then, of course, bringing the other announcer along who is just renowned in the professionalism. Boy, I thought the announcers from a fellow announcer standpoint kept the crowd engaged, kept the information flowing. Your typical announcer, what's his name?
William Sumner.
William, he's a firecracker, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. He was my college roommate. He's one of a kind person.
I should have gone to college with you two.
Yeah, yeah. I'll tell you.
Did he talk that much in college?
Yeah, he was that crazy. I'll tell you a little story. It's pretty funny. One of the best stories I've got from him. I lived across the road from him. I didn't know him, but he drove a 78 Toyota Tercel, and he called it the Turd. It was brown, and his roommate had a truck, and then another roommate had a truck parked on one side of their little parking area. And I come out for class, and I heard that little Toyota come across the road, and he dukes the hazard, a little jump, and hit the parking brake and slid in between his two roommates' trucks. And I was like, "Oh my gosh, what kind of a neighbor have I got?" So the end of that school year, we needed another roommate, and happened to see him out, and he was like, talked to him for a while, and he was like, "I need somewhere to live." I said, "Well, we got a place for you." And so that's how it started, and I started bringing him to pools, and he started getting a liking to my cousin, which is Ray's daughter from across the road, and he was one of the old owners of the pool, and he started coming around more and more and coming to the pools, and then he became one of our announcers years ago. So
didn't he? We don't have to tell all this story, but didn't he, when he lived across the road from you, didn't he knock on your door and wake you up in the middle of the night one night wanting a shovel because he'd run off the road?
He was the roommate at that time. One night after going to bars, 2 o'clock in the morning,
you don't have to incriminate him. Just
he knocked on my door, and he asked, did I have a pair of post hole diggers? And I woke up and I said, what do you need post hole diggers for? He said, come out here and look. And I went out there, and his pickup truck happened to hit a fire hydrant in front of our parking lot, and it was shooting up probably 100 foot in the air. He was going to turn off the water valve that night, but he didn't get it turned off in time. We had a $1,000 water bill that I think insurance took care of it.
You said that so well. His truck happened to hit a fire. Those doggone trucks, you just can't ever get to do what they're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, it was never boring living with him.
Several of our viewers are commenting in with some of his great quotes he gives us, with the 8 monkeys under the hood of that thing. And of course, his good call with the mercy at the end of the run. Great, just a great color commentator. He brings a lot to your show. So we talked about what it was like in the stands. Drivers, this for all the drivers on the show right now. 175 vehicles back there, 62 in Xander's class, 49 in the 2.6 class, 17 of the best super stock diesel class or diesel trucks you've seen out there. Drivers, what's the atmosphere like in the pits? Just interacting on something of a scale like that.
I thought they did a pretty good job personally. Everybody was pretty polite, and it was pretty easy getting up across the scales and getting up to the track.
Is it a kind of a laid back, we're just here to have fun because it's after the point season, or is it a dialed in and focus, or is it a big party back there? You know, Jesse and Ference and Monty, what did you guys see just out there behind the scenes with all the drivers?
Well, of course, everybody's going to win. We all want to win, but it's a very laid back atmosphere. And, you know, not very many places you get to go to that people seem to be having as much fun as they're actually having there. And I think all of us think, you know, it's the end of the year, it's our last go around. And that's one of the things that really makes it more fun. We're done after this too.
Nick or Jesse, what did you see while you were back in the pits? What were your takeaway?
My takeaway is pretty much the grand finale of the season, and all the pullers are there to have a good time. They're pretty much everybody I met there is pretty much considered a friend. And it's the most laid back, best place you could go, pretty much. There's all the pullers are extremely nice. There's zero hostility whatsoever. Everybody's there to make sure everybody's doing okay.
You know, and that's a tip of the cap too to Hank and Ryan and all the production behind the scenes and the promoters for organizing this thing. I've been at pulls. I went to a pull this summer where we had 29 vehicles and it took us 3.5 hours to get through those. So when you can get through, everyone talks about, 9 hours is a long pull, but 175 trucks on a single track. I mean, really, I never saw any, kerfluffle when it came to staging, and the trucks were up there. I had to cut my interview short several times because the next truck was staged so quickly. It's easy for things to go well when the guys have done a great job planning and touching all their bases on that.
I want to give I guess something that helps us get. I think Mike Burton come up and said there was 2 minutes and 30 seconds on the DOT tire between each truck, and Jeff Burton and Ted Ferguson on the scrape and pack tractors, they helped tremendously on getting the truck downtown that low. So they do an excellent job on grading that track off in between each pull.
Yeah, those guys are really awesome.
Yeah. Hey, Mike.
What's up?
Only comment I have about that is that if this thing grows any more than it already has, I want to buy the property next door so I can rent it back to Hank and Ryan.
Yeah.
So that was kind of the question, and I didn't know how I wanted to go about it, but since we're there, we'll talk about it. Ryan, you were on the show. I remember interviewing you in 2023 when you were on Let's Grow Pulling and talking about this, and you said, we hope that this thing just keeps getting bigger and just keeps getting bigger. It's big, man. It's big. Yeah. What do you see in the future? What's it look like if these numbers get up to 200 to 225? Of course, I hate to put that question on you because we're 2 days removed from the pull, and you probably want to just sit back and enjoy the fruits of your labor for a little bit. But wow, this thing is just remarkable,
Me and Hank and Dennis, the other owner, we've been talking. There's a lot of options on the table. We rent the land from a family cousin of ours, so we got to talk to her and see what our options can be for the off season. So,
well, we've got
ideas.
And 363 days to think about that, and the Monday night afterwards is a pretty good time to wear the belt like Xander's doing. I think everyone on here could wear a belt in their own regard for what happened this weekend. Ference, I had a question for you as well. We're talking about the atmosphere in the pits. Ference, I want to know, of all the 175 teams that were there, who was the second most entertaining personality in the pits? Because obviously the most entertaining had to have been you yourself. So who else was back there that just, where was the party at, late in both mornings?
I tell you, just about, you say that, but you go up and talk to Craig and they're having a ball. You go up and talk to Van, they're having a ball. You go over and talk to Cody and Austin, all that gang, they're having a ball. I go see my buddy Ray Tucker with the tractor guys, they were having a good. Everybody, it's a 175 first place way tie.
That's everybody wears a belt in their own regard for pulling down there. The number one question I've had since getting back home and telling folks about it is what, like all my buddies, even the friends that don't watch pulling, you know, when we just talk about the numbers and we talk about what an event this was, they want to know what brings the drivers there, you know. So for all of you guys who came down to this, what is it about it that keeps you coming back every year? Just talk about why you love this pull so much. We'll just go around here. We'll start at the bottom right this time and kind of work our way around. Monty, what keeps you coming to this pull year after year?
Well, you know, one of the things is the competition. I mean, where do you get to go that you get competition like that? You know, not very many places in our class, especially, can we get all those guys to show up. And from Wisconsin to Minnesota to Pennsylvania, New York, and, you know, all across the board for us, which is hard to get. But the atmosphere, the last pull of the year, that always means a lot. We always want to finish off well. And, you know, it's just a great time, man. The weather is awesome, especially when you leave up here and it's cold and you go down there and it's 80.
Yeah, it was. I had to bring my shorts back out. I just about winterized my wardrobe for the year, but I had to dig deep and find those. Xander, 61 limited pro stock diesel trucks. Do you guys all get on the phone with each other and say, "Hey, we've all got to go"? What is it that makes your class special? Such a monster turnout at this event.
Well, I know my class is one of the bigger classes. I do know that, and everybody, I guess, just wants to show up and just see what they can do. Like you said, the point season's over, and everybody just wants to show up and show out, I guess. But for me personally, we going up there, I do get a little bit cooler weather compared to down here in Texas. But getting to see all the different diesels, because there's not a lot of diesels here in Texas with the pulling.
So Monty says the weather's warmer. You're coming out of Texas and say it's a little bit cooler for you guys. That's an interesting assessment. I think with the 3.0 diesel trucks, it would have been easier to look at the map and list who wasn't there than it would be to list who was there. I mean, just your class has gotten so popular and so competitive. You don't see numbers like that. That's really something pretty awesome. Nick, let's jump over to you. What keeps you coming down to diesels and dark corners? What makes this thing so big and so attractive to a puller?
Well, this was my first down. I've never been able to come down before running Madera, and I had a pretty good feeling that Craig Dick was going to be there. I remember Hazley saying something about them going. I just pulled against them over at Weaklands, and I wanted to see how I could against the best.
Well, you had to be pretty pleased with how you did against the best. So, yeah, that's. Will you be back next year?
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
For you. Yeah.
Absolutely.
He's got to defend that belt title.
Yeah.
That's what you guys need to do is make sure you bring them back with you. If I was a belt winner, I would walk around all day Friday just kind of wearing it casually, pretending I didn't notice, and just kind of send the message, "This is mine," until someone takes it from me. So you have to put your belt back on. Xander, is the belt going to make the trip with you back to White Plains next year?
Yeah.
Ference, what brings you guys to diesels and dark corners every year?
Two things that red Georgia clay straight out of the My Cousin Vinny movie, and then the second reason is old William Sumner. I just want to hear what he's gonna say every year. And last year he got up there and it was my birthday on Saturday night, and he sang "Happy Birthday" to me.
Can't beat it. Jesse, you're coming down to diesels and dark corners. What brings the drivers there year after year?
For me, it's the warm weather. It's cold up here this time of year here in Pennsylvania, and down there you got warm weather. You got the red Georgia clay, that good Poland clay down there. 2 days we come down there and relax, have a good time. It's a good time with a lot of good friends and a great atmosphere, and you can't beat the track. And there's a lot of good competition. The super stock class is every year it's getting better down there, and you guys get a really good bunch of trucks down there.
Yeah, definitely. Probably the best super stock truck class that I've seen in person. Just really, man, you guys were kind of the crown jewel when you came out there, and the amount of speed that you guys were screaming down the track with was awesome. Hey, Kinsey and Jason, if you're backstage and if you have access, we've got some breaking news. Can we get the breaking news sound effect to play for us? All right, guys, we have some breaking news. To this point, it has been a truck driver exclusive looking at Let's Grow Pulling, but truck drivers just joining us. We got a tractor driver jumping on the show, so everyone look down to the bottom right of the screen and give him a polite wave or a stink eye, whatever it is between the truck and the diesel drivers. But Nathan Tucker joining us, piloting that 1066. Xander Lee takes home the most enthusiastic award. Trip Hazley was right behind him, but right in the mix. Nathan, buddy, you were pretty doggone pumped up when we had a chance to chat on Saturday night, too. You still got that grin on your face. Are you still riding high after the big win on Saturday?
I am. It was a great opportunity. We were super excited to go down. Me, my dad, and our crew, we've been talking about going down for 2-3 years now. We talked a lot about it. We really wanted to come last year, but just couldn't make it. So we were really, really pumped to be done with harvest early this year and be able to come down. And to be able to come down and win was just the cherry on top. It was great. We were super excited with it. We couldn't ask for anything better. I mean, it was just exceptional. Just very, very thrilled.
That's awesome. One thing I love that the promoters do with this, obviously people think of diesels and dark corners, and it is, one of the biggest diesel truck shows in the world. But the nice little cherry on top is they say, well, we're going to sneak in a tractor class too. Do you tractor guys kind of take that as a chance of pride to have all diesel truck eyes on you for one little bit there in the weekend?
I mean, it is all truck pull. I mean, it was a little different being the only tractors there, but we felt like we put on a pretty good show and held our weight and didn't disappoint anybody, at least. So we were pretty proud to be there, and that goes for almost everybody in our class. So we were all real happy to be there and felt good coming down.
The track was trickier to you guys in the tractor class than maybe it was in the truck shows. You guys all got sucked really hard right, and it took some fancy hole shot. It took some fancy brake work. Did you have to make any adjustments on the fly as that thing kind of slid to the right and you had to keep it in bounds the whole way down?
I used the brakes probably within the first 100 foot, but not much after that. Once it got settled in, it did come off real hard to the left. I had a real bad run earlier this year. So since then, I've been a lot less timid, or a lot more timid, and just easier on it. And right for the pool, Dad, he came up and he was like, "Man, it's the last pool of the year. Don't worry about it. Just give it all it's got. Don't, just drive it like you stole it." And it ended up good, and I just put the fear aside and finally got back into rhythm. But once it got settled in, I mean, it was just, give it all it had, and the tractor does the rest for you. But it was past 100 foot. It was a real smooth ride. It hooked up great. Got a real nice hook at the end. We couldn't be happier with how it did do. I mean, I was thrilled with it.
I forgot that I wasn't watching a light super stock show because every tractor that came off the line, you guys were pointing them skyward. And I don't know if that just speaks to how biting that track was or the setups you all chose. Typically with the single charger diesel classes, we look for that, the front end's maybe 9 to 14 inches off the ground. You guys get these smooth Waller passes, but you guys were popping them up there early. Was that just because you had them set on kill, or tell us about what was going on with all those tractors?
It kind of depends on the track, and we've kind of changed how we launch throughout the past year or two. We used to ride the clutch out a lot more, but now the whole class really is kind of coming over to ride it out 10, 20 foot and just drop it. It's just you gotta, to be able to hook up early and get that extra speed you need and get everything you need. You have to just let off early and not ride the clutch out as much. You just really got to get all it has within the first 20 foot. That's kind of a big change. It depends on the tracks too. Some tracks are a lot dustier. That red dirt down there, it's real sticky, and when we're letting off at 20 foot, you can't do anything but bite. But up here in Kentucky, at least, with this as dry as it's been, there's a lot of tracks. We can dump the clutch, but still not hook up till 70 foot. It depends on the track, but just at least down there in this pool specifically, it was a real good hook and just biting off the line.
So I'm going to go around
all of our movable weight up front.
Yeah, and still pointing it skyward that much just shows how much it was biting. And everyone on here has said, the whole shot, getting into that stick, like Xander said, as early and aggressively as you could was what it took this weekend. I'm going to ask one question to everybody on here. It's going to be the same question. I think we have every single class that pulled at Diesels and Dark Corners represented the 2.6 trucks. Nathan, if you were to jump out of the driver's seat of your tractor and get behind the wheel of any of these other truck classes, which one would be the one you would find most appealing? Which one of these guys, whose truck would you get behind the wheel of, or which class would you pull in?
Oh, man. Probably super stock. Mr. Warren, that was an exceptional pull. I really enjoy watching you pull. It's a great class to watch, watching everybody. If some give it off the line immediately, some go halfway down the track and give it everything it has. It's always something screaming in that class. It's great to watch, and to drive one, it'd be nerve-wracking, but I would love to do it.
Jesse, if you were driving any other class that's represented on this screen, which class do you think would be the most fun to go play in?
If I was to pull in a different class, just watching there this weekend, I was watching those guys in those big rigs. Probably the 4-1 class they had there in the semi class, that was kind of caught my eye a little bit. I have a couple semis up here, and I thought about maybe someday building a C15 and running that class. But yeah, that's the class I would be interested in messing with at some point if I would switch classes ever.
Ference, you guys have pulled in 2 different classes. Is your answer going to be the super stock diesel trucks, or which guy here on the screen, whose class would you jump into?
I really, any of them, and I don't mean that lightly. We're blessed to be doing what we're doing, and I would, I love what we do, and I love what all the rest of them. I'd trade with. I'd do any of them. It wouldn't matter to me.
Pulling's good no matter how you do it. I was, looking at the screen, it was going to come to me next on the class or on the rotation. And there's one class we haven't talked about all this weekend. That'd be the class I would feel most comfortable competing in. That would be the pedal tractor races. If they started the Saturday night show off, I think that would be the only thing that the boss man Jason Schultz would allow Mike Idle behind the wheel of. So they didn't get any love, but that's the only place that you would find myself is in the pedal tractor races, and I still wouldn't feel very good about my odds in that one. Monty, if you were going to get behind the wheel of somebody else's class here, who would you go compete with?
Oh, it'd have to be Super Stock Diesel. Without a doubt. That's where I would ride.
Kind of self-explanatory on that answer with how awesome that class is. Xander, you guys are right as rain in that 3.0 class, but if you were somewhere else, where would you be?
Well, quite honestly, I would like to try out one of the tractor classes.
Sure.
They're just so interesting to me. But I don't know if I could get over the nerves of driving up a wheelie down the track, though. But it'd be really interesting to me.
They drive themselves. It's easy.
I've always thought that, if I was forced to get in the world of pulling, I would want all 4 or 6 tires, or 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 tires to be on the ground as much as possible. Let's go back again. You guys have been awesome, and I just want to give each and every one of you a chance to give a shout out to anybody watching or any thank yous. It takes a village to go pulling. Ference, who do you need to give a shout out to? Who do you need to give a thank you to before we sign off here?
Has to be Hank and Ryan and their families and all the fans that showed up.
Well said. Well said. Couldn't agree more. Nathan, who's your thank you and your shout out go to?
My mom and dad. I mean, they're always there. We wouldn't be doing it without them. It's always great. I really enjoy pulling with my dad. A huge thanks to you guys for having us down. It was a great opportunity. We'd love to be back, and will be, and really look forward to it.
Absolutely. Well said. Jesse, thank yous and shout outs. It's your time, buddy.
And all the guys down there helped put the show on this weekend, Hank and Ryan. And then as far as on our truck, Weimer there, Jim Kalinowski at Weimer's, he helps us out a lot. And anyone that's helped us out down there and all the good people down there, I thank every one of them.
Donnie Reeve is a modified 4-wheel drive truck driver chiming in with a comment out of California. He's going to be at the Golden State Invitational this upcoming weekend. And he says super semis would be, of course, he's a truck driver by trade, so that would fit like a hand in a glove. So good comment from Donnie. Glad to see he's watching. Xander, thank yous and shout outs. You have the floor.
Well, I want to thank my clutch sponsor, Valor Clutches. He set me up with a pretty good clutch this year. And I would like to thank O'Brien Diesel for working with us this year with my new common rail system. But of course, I want to thank my father for helping me into truck pulling and helping me through this entire process.
We saw a lot of O'Brien stickers on the side of trucks while we were there. So yeah, that's one where the proof is in the pudding, I believe, with that. So well said. Monty, thank yous and shout outs.
Hank and Raymond for having us for sure. And, I really appreciate Ted Ferguson and what's his partner's name?
Say it again.
What's Ted Ferguson's partner's name that works with him?
Jeff Burton.
Yeah, Jeff. Those two guys, man, they really help things out a lot. And their night is a hard night. They've got a long night there.
Yep.
You look at them when the night's over, and they're tired. And I looked at one of them, and he was looking at the other one, and they were going like that. So I'm pretty sure they were wore out by the night's end. They have a hard night too. But those two guys really appreciate all they did. My crew, we built a whole new truck this year. Spent a lot of time, did a lot of work. I more or less just drive. So I really appreciate all they've done and all the fans coming out and supporting.
Absolutely. Perfect. Well said. We saw Bubby Race checking in with a comment. Of course, he pulled both nights. His dad picked up the win Friday night, and he said, Xander, if you ever got on a tractor, you'd be selling that truck. Of course, he pulled in the 8,500-pound tractor class down there. So we appreciate him chiming in. And Bubby, thank you for the interview as well. He was one of them that stopped early on Friday, and we had a great chat. Let's go over here to Nick. Thank yous and shout outs, my man.
Oh, I'd like to thank my dad puts in with me, and like they said, the track crew and the guys that put the show on. They did an awesome job. I'd like Weimer for their great engine vlogs. I thank Dave Sachs for his entire crew, and everybody else involved. Hey,
Absolutely. Definitely takes a whole crew, takes a whole village. And last but certainly not least, the man behind the scenes helping make everything happen. Hank, huge event. Where do your thank yous and shout outs go to?
Well, first of all, you gotta thank these pullers and these sponsors for supporting us, and they've done it for a long time. I don't know why they're crazy enough to drive all the way down here, pull the sled, but they do it. And, we have I want to shout out. We have a lot of good local people that help us out. A lot of good volunteers that kind of work behind the scenes, whether it be flagmen or unhooking chains and lining up trucks. And there's a lot of good people, and we also have added some help from out of state. Like you mentioned, Ted and Jeff working that track. I don't know what we would do without them. I don't know how we did it before them. And then we got Leroy Brown. He's a PPL scale guy. He's been down for a couple of years now, helping us with the scales. Him and his wife came down this year and helped with the scales, taking that load off of our back. These people that step forward and kind of take even if it's just a small load, like just taking these loads off of you on this big weekend, it makes a difference. And I don't know where we couldn't do this with all the help, so.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. Something this big to run that smooth. You guys have got your act together, and it obviously does take is all hands on deck, but you do a great job building and continuing those relationships and making sure that it always gets done excellently. I know Jason's watching in the background. I can see him bouncing up and down the road right now as he goes through Texas, and he can double check me right here. But folks, I think that's about where we need to be on our time for this segment. Might have even ran over a little bit, but I'm not going to apologize because this was fun and that was awesome. You, the pullers, you, the promoters, you guys are the ones that make this so awesome. Thank you to each and every one of you for being on here. This was a great time on Let's Grow Pulling. Best of luck in your 2025 seasons. And thank you to all of you for making Diesels and Dark Corners such a great event this year. Hope each of you have a great night, and we're going to transition over to our next segment, and I'll just let behind the scenes kind of handle how we transition to that. So thank you all for coming on. Pulling is fun, y'all.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Mike.
Angry Duck Graphics has the biggest, baddest merch shop around. Check it out at shopangryduck.com and buy a Remedy shirt while you are there.
All right, folks. So that was an awesome round.
The Outlaw Truck and Tractor Pulling Association is the largest of 3 sanctioned national pulling associations with 16 classes and more than 350 competing vehicles streamed on outlawpulling.tv.
All right. Transitioning over to a fun segment that we have diligently been working through and getting off the ground called How Did You Name Your Puller? Now, in this side of things, we're going to examine some uniquely named pulling vehicles and read the story behind them. First one, we've got a garden tractor coming on to the scene here. Calls it Button Buck. Robbie Lesmeister. He wants the world to know that this awesome John Deere modeled after the 4620. He says, when I was building mine, I wanted it to look like a miniature version of the big boys. The best name I could come up with for a miniature or baby version was Button Buck. I love that. All you hunters out there, you know exactly what a button buck is. They get big, and of course, those are your ones you're looking for. So the Button Buck, submitted by Robbie Leesmeister. Jim Piper comes in with a good-looking, unstyled, this is going to be a John Deere A or a John Deere B. Calls it the Mighty A. So there's your answer right there. Of course, this one's going to be pulling in a Classics division. He wants the world to know. He says, the first time I had ever pulled a big sled, the Class 7, mine was still a 4,500-pound Division 1 and 2 tractors. Pulled against the 6,500 Division 3 tractors, and hey, it held its own. So from that night on, that's what everyone called it. Not bad for a 45 pulling with the 65s, the Mighty A. All right. Another John Deere, we're keeping it green this evening, called The Wife's New Kitchen. And of course, check out the graphics on the side of that too. I can guess without even having read this yet. I wonder if there was a fund that went somewhere that maybe it wasn't promised to. Janine Tellin says the wife wanted a new kitchen. Son and I wanted to pull a big block deer. We won for a little while. So contributing some of those kitchen funds. Brian Wilbur on an old school mini calls it precision guesswork. Pretty self-explanatory. That's pulling in a nutshell, folks. Argus Oil Whispering Giant. Oh, got one of our overseas pullers here, it looks like. The Whispering Giant. Turbines are whispering, and the trophies are giant. I love it. Everyone's heard the whistling sound of the turbine. 4 of them on that big machine. All right, another garden tractor going back to the Fords here. Tina McNeil said this one started as a joke and then it stuck, but it was a name, and then it stuck and it was a name a guy had not thought about. Get harassed all the time if I'm going to write it the way I named it. Calls this one Buck Naked. Hey, it's got the John Deere reference in there. Fire suits are better than birthday suits when it comes to pulling. I'll leave it at that. Okay, segment number 3 as we're having fun on this Monday night. Let's Grow Pulling Diesels and Dark Corners edition. We're going to go to Pullers of the Pass. This is my own personal segment. I have a lot of fun with it. Hobby of mine is to sort through. I've got about 180 old school pulling photos, actual physical copy photos. My father took these at pulls over the past 20, 30, 40 years. And I've been able to upload these up in here and tried to track down as many stories as I could. I've got them all logged finally. We're going alphabetical order from here on out. And let's see what I've got cooking in here tonight. Robert Miner, I saw you checking in. We appreciate you always watching, and thank you for the compliment. He says that we're doing a nice job here. And if I'd have thought about this better, the pullers I put on here would have worked really well with Jason on the scene to get some stories maybe from his dad, because I think we're going to see some old school Alice Chalmers pullers tonight that would have spent a lot of time with his father, Mike Schultz, pulling back in the day. 2 from the same puller. First one, we have Arlen Jensen. For all you old school pullers out there, he calls this one Overdraft. Now, the fun story that I heard when posting this one online, I think he's from Harlan, Iowa. And the announcers back in the 80s, I think this picture would have been taken around 1985, possibly in Kirksville, Missouri. They always identified him as Arlen from Harlan. So this is the Overdraft. How you name your puller? I think that one's pretty self-explanatory too. I think that's probably an Alice 180 or a 190. And then it looks like somewhere in his career, Arlen Jensen came out with another tractor. This, of course, is that beautiful looking D21. And now I know for a fact that this one was taken at the old Kirksville Speedway. So that tells me I know this picture came from 1985. We have a great action shot right here. He called the D21 the Overdraft 2. Two really fun things to point out with this action shot right here. Not only do we see an awesome heavyweight 9,500 pound D21 super stock, but we also see, in my mind, what is the most famous sled from the golden age of pulling with the old iron sides. I think Dave Hager was the name of the man that campaigned that sled. Grand National sled used all through the Midwest. As you can see, he is rolling the coal in front of a packed house and an afternoon show there in Kirksville, Missouri. So Arlen from Harlan with the Overdraft and the Overdraft 2. We're going to go alphabetical order from here on out by first name or by however I have these. So you can see a couple A's. Let's go down to the B's. These old school mods have been some of the most popular things that I have been posting online. People love the looks of these old school mods. I don't think I put this one on here before. If I have, I apologize. But we have it completely identified and named this time around. As you can see, a couple crank to crank blown V8s right there. This is Barney Klaus, calls this good looking mod Barney's Rose. Always love to point out with these. I think they had to have fenders, but they didn't have to have much for fenders. You can see he's just got a little bit sticking out over there. Barney's Rose in the really light. It was like 5,000 pounds or something like that. Modified class. Sticking with that class and sticking with that show in Kirksville, Missouri, 1985, pulling the old Ironside sled. Bob Chickering with the inch pincher. Now we've put pictures of the inch pincher Allison powered machine up here before, but never did we see an action shot on one of those. So there you can see Bob Chickering with his inch pincher. He's making a good pass right there. Got the front end right where he wants it. And then we're going to go way forward, and you will forgive the camera work on this one. We have one of Mike Idle's original photos. All of these, as we flip through these, all taken by my dad when he was in his, early to late 20s and, knew how to operate a push button camera. Well, somewhere along the line, someone handed a 10-year-old, 11-year-old young Mike Idle the camera. So you can see I hadn't quite gotten centering the tractor figured out just yet. But a neat story behind this D21 right here. This is the Joker, which has bounced around and been in a couple of different hands. You can see it's got a roll cage on it. So this is probably around 2001, 2002. If I had to guess, this is either Mount Sterling, Illinois, or this is Macon, Missouri. But this was owned briefly, and I confirmed it from the source. This was owned and driven by Bobby Jones. At this time, your 2023 light super stock PPL champion. Everybody knows Bobby Jones on his mean run in International. So at one point in time, Bobby Jones owning a pretty famous tractor. I don't remember who owned it before him. Please tell me this was a big tractor for a long time. Jump on here and remind me where this went and where it was. But I was kind of surprised to see that Bobby Jones, the field sobriety driver, campaigned this one for a little bit. He told me that if I could show him the tires, he would tell me exactly what year it was because he put aluminum wheels on it one year. But, 11-year-old Mike, not so good at operating a camera. But a neat story nonetheless. So we're going to go with light mods and all orange on the show tonight in our Pulling Through the Past. So that's going to bring us up to our current segment. Here in about 9 minutes, we're going to go to Mercedes and Friends as our West Coast California pullers are going to jump online with us. Of course, all of them gearing up for the potentially the final show, the final tractor pull nationwide of the year, as they're all thrashing and very excited, getting ready for the Golden State Invitational, the crown jewel of the Major League Motorsports, the MLM Motorsports truck and tractor pulling out there, which will be held in Madera, California. And production says we're going to play some sponsors for a minute, which is their nice way of saying do what you're not very good at and stop talking. We'll be back after these.
The official fan app for truck and tractor pulling. Sign up, pick winners, win cash. It's that easy. Fullpull.us.
GMS Manufacturing and Machine. Helping you build a superior foundation with top quality parts and service. Give Brent a call today.
Coal Train Energy is American-made energy and Midwest based in Syracuse, Missouri. Free shipping is available at coaltrainenergy.com. Check out their new flavors online.
Heavy diesel rebuilds and machine work is High Plains Performance's specialty. Their team of qualified and experienced professionals are at the top of their industry. Contact Doug for a quote today.
The world's #1 racing and performance marketplace. Cars, parts, antiques, trailers, and so much more. RacingJunk.com.
Conventional combine concaves cause damage to small grains and contribute to significant crop loss over time. Luckily, Bauer Built Concaves has perfected the design for John Deere and Case IH equipment. Call them today.
Contact Corsa today and ask about their pullers packages that give you all the information you need to know about your engine.
The Pullers Championship is presented by a team of people with a commitment to the sport of pulling and a need to give back to the sport they love. The Pullers Championship was not created to be exceptional. It was created to be the exception.
Organics Midwest. Put life back into your soil by improving your soil health, enhancing your root systems, and delivering increased crop yields. Revolutionize the way you farm today.
Casper Ag Solutions, here to help you make sense of precision ag. Contact Ed today.
Shop for quality Kawasaki parts, accessories, and gear at KawasakiPartsWarehouse.com.
Lincoln Diesel Specialties offers high-quality diesel performance products and services for various models of trucks. Check them out online.
Get top-quality truck parts, as well as expert application information about tractor pulling and clutch assembly, from our professionals in Waynesburg, Kentucky. Call Kenny's today.
Schultz Mortgage Team and USA Mortgage want you to know that you do not need 20% down to buy a house. Give Jason a call 7 days a week to learn how.
How? What's going on, guys?
Mike, how are you?
Excellent. Hello and welcome back to all of our viewers. We just took a little break there and ran some of our commercial sponsors and some hype videos getting ready for the Golden State Invitational 2024 as we transition to the portion of the show that's taken on a great life of its own called Mercedes and Friends. And before we even get going, before we get all official and, button up, I've got a question for Kevin. Kevin, I knew you were in the tractor pulling business. I was unaware, but I guess congratulations are in order. Did not know that you were getting into the horse racing business. When did you purchase this stallion that is being shipped to you at the moment? I think it's a thoroughbred of a very rare variety. Have you been on Facebook to see this breaking news?
Yeah, I saw that. I think that's being sponsored, and it's traveling across the country right now as we speak.
So several. There we go. The man. It's en route.
Still in my motor home.
Yeah, that having a little fun. We might have to get on Facebook and get the official video here, but this is what happens when Jason Schultz is left to go from coast to coast unsupervised for an entire week. Yeah, the horse is en route, so you're going to be flirting with about 7,201 horsepower this weekend. It looks like.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I think Jason might get a little loopy when he's driving across the country. Huh? He's got some good videos coming out.
Yeah, there was really some intriguing content to come out there today. Guys, we're having a great time. For those of you at home who don't know what we're talking about, Beer Money Pulling Team on Facebook has some great videos. Brian, I'm assuming you've seen the video too. It really works in my favor when I'm asking for all of this time off from work and they're saying, well, what are you doing? And I'm saying, well, I'm working with the biggest social media promoter, the primary name in truck and tractor pulling, really very serious stuff. Here, let me just show you a video to prove it. And that's what I have backing me up. So
yeah.
Welcome to the show, guys. Welcome to the show. How's California?
Fantastic. Beautiful weather. Things are looking good. We've a lot of excitement out here for the Golden State Invitational.
Well, do we have a crew of MLM guys coming on, joining us throughout the evening, or are we running just the Massetti brothers tonight?
No, we do. I asked them to kind of stagger it a little bit and come on one at a time. So I guess you'll see them in the back room. We have some great guests coming on tonight. Looking forward to it.
Awesome.
But let's give a little recap of the Golden State Invitational if we can.
I'm going to turn it over to you. You do your thing, man.
Awesome. Friday and Saturday night this week, November 8th and 9th. Both nights, the gates open at 5 p.m. The national anthem will be sung by Kevin's daughter, Addison, at 6 o'clock. And then we will start with tight chains and green flags, or green flags and tight chains.
There it is. There it is.
I don't want to get in trouble for copyright infringement. But anyways, we're going to do that. We got about 80 competitors coming from, we're happy to say, as far east as New York State and as far north as Washington State, Idaho, Utah, Oregon, Nevada, of course, California will be represented. It's going to be exciting. We're thrilled with the competitor list that we have. The equipment that is here in California is fantastic, and we just get to add a little bit to it with these guys that are traveling to this event. So it's really cool. It's kind of what we wanted when we started this event, to make it a destination that people wanted to come to, and we're getting there. It's our third year, and it's really grown, and we're excited about that. Food trucks. I think we got 5 food trucks coming both nights, so there'll be plenty of food. There is a puller's meal at noon both days. So we're looking forward to that, having lunch with everybody, hanging out. We do for all the diesel competitors that run intercoolers, we do have an ice trailer coming, so we're providing ice for everybody, which just makes it nice. They don't have to go run around Friday morning or Saturday morning and get more ice. We'll have it right there on site. So that's kind of cool. We've been able to do that again. What else, Kev? What do they need to know about this weekend?
I think you hit all the big stuff.
Yeah, we had the breaking news today on tractor pulling social media when the Owens team made the announcement that they're going to be coming out there. So that's what you guys want, I assume. Well, it's kind of a twofold. You want to take this as an opportunity to showcase what MLM is capable of and show the world, what California pulling is capable of. But you kind of open those doors and say, hey, come out and play in our sandbox too, and let's grow this event and welcome other individuals. They're traveling a long ways to come out there and go pulling.
No doubt about that. And that when Dylan called a week ago or so and said that they were thinking about maybe coming out here, and I said, man, that'd be fantastic. So it worked. I was telling Christy about it after I talked to Dylan, and I said, I don't know if it'll even happen, but we talked about it. But the coolest thing to me is that our event was even on their radar. They knew about it and they called and were interested in coming out. So that means the world to us for our event. But now Tom's on his way. He got a full day in. I don't know how far he is now, but he left early this morning. So we are looking forward to seeing him. So
Two of the hardest running and prettiest painted modifieds. I've always loved the looks of that Ramblin' Rose and the Thorn out there. So as we see your event poster put on the board right there, can you walk us through the classes that you're going to be showcasing this weekend?
You betcha. We've got, I think we have 13 classes. Do you have the link to all the class orders, Michael, or?
I was perusing your website before we got on here, and I did not see it readily available.
It's on the GSI website.
Okay, we'll slide out there real quick. Tommy Owen says he's just west of St. Louis. Hey, Tom, if you're on I-70 and you need recommendations for a good place to stop to eat or something, you're only about an hour and a half away from where I call home. So, I can give you the inside scoop on that. But yeah, let's slide out there to the GSI. Is it just GSI.com?
GSI2024.com.
GSI 2024 Truck and Tractor Pull Golden State Invitational. Join MLM Motorsports in welcoming ground pounding pulling action to the Madera Speedway, the best pulling from the West. So we'll slide down here. You guys have work stock diesel trucks, pro stock diesel trucks, limited pro stock diesel trucks. I saw a couple of those. I saw a couple of those over the past few days with those limited pro stock and pro stock diesel trucks. So,
yes, you did.
That's going to be great. 6,000 pound super stock trucks. Go ahead, Brian.
I would say if you click on competitors there, she's got the slides of each class. There you go.
All right. So if we look at this, yeah, we've got let's hit the track. Let's hit the names of the classes first, and then we'll kind of break down what we're seeing here. Heavy modified tractors, super modified 2-wheel drive trucks, modified tractors, pro mod trucks, light mod tractors, limited pro diesel trucks, pro stock diesel trucks, super farm tractors, work stock diesel trucks, 12,000 pound hot farm tractors, country modified trucks, 6,000 pound super stock truck class, and 8,000 pound hot farm tractors. What do you guys want to break down first? We can look through some competitors here, and keep in mind, fans watching, all these competitors, you can go out to Full Pull Picks and kind of put your money where your mouth is and tell us what you think's going to roll down. So, Brian, I'll turn it back over to you. There's your class list.
Cool. And we also just brought in our first guest for the night. Maybe we can jump to that, and then once we get all of our guests on, we can kind of go through the classes and the class they're in. Does that work?
I love it.
Cool. Well, then I would like to introduce our first friend tonight. The man really needs no introduction, but I'll try anyways. This is Donnie Reeve from Valley Springs, California, I believe is where he calls home. So, Donnie, welcome to the show, and thank you for being a friend.
Thank you very much. Appreciate being a part of it.
Donnie has been competing for a lot of years out here, and I think most people know Donnie on social media and know the four-wheel drive class is definitely their home in pulling, but we'd like to get to know you a little bit outside of pulling tonight, Donnie. So first of all,
sure?
I think most people know that you are married to your beautiful wife, Lori. How long has that been? Have you been married?
You're going to get me in trouble here, buddy. Well, I got it.
Round figures.
44 years.
44
Is that right,
years.
hon? 44 years.
Very nice. Can you share with us how you guys met?
Yeah, I met her getting a haircut. I happened by to see my mother. I hadn't seen her in a long time, and first thing she said to me is, "You look like a pig's butt. You need a haircut." And, thankfully, my younger brother was standing there and said, "Donnie, I got the perfect idea. Command Performance, Dublin, California. Beautiful women. You'll love it. Go get your haircut there." Well, in those days, that wasn't no barber shop. That was the $40-$50, spend all your money for a damn haircut. And but he was right. They long story short, he wound up married to Vicky, and I wound up married to Lori, sisters that both worked there. So yeah, it was a great haircut, and took me a couple tries too. I'm not the most sociable person, so I had a hard time asking her out, with her picture of her Taekwondo expert, whatever the hell it was, boyfriend on the mantle, and a stack of Man Theater tickets, which was the brand new, when these theaters that had multiple screens and all that were first starting to come out. We're talking 1979, right? Anyway, so I was reluctant I couldn't pull myself to ask her out, because I also thought, somebody who looks like this is not going to go out with a truck driver like me. But anyway, so I went home mad, and my roommate said, "Well, hell, one thing, you got a lot of hair, go back." So I did. I went back a couple days later and got another haircut, and the same scenario went down. So I was driving away in my 1979 four-wheel drive Ford, awesome pickup, and I was madder than hell at myself for not doing what I needed to do. And so I pulled over and called her on a payphone and asked her if we could use a couple of those theater tickets she had laying on her counter, and she said yes. Can't imagine why. And more than that, I can't imagine with her putting up with me for 44 years, but hey, I'm a lucky guy.
So how many $50 haircuts did you have to get before you closed the deal?
That was the best part. That was the best part. I am so flush on haircuts between then and now. It's perfect. It was a very good investment.
It's worked out well for you.
Yes, it has.
So
and the woman loves pulling. I mean, what else can you ask for?
Not much. You definitely scored there.
Yeah, I did.
So you, I believe you could be considered retired now from the company you built from the ground up.
I'm working my ass off on pull trucks, but other than that, yeah, I tell everybody I'm retired. I was tired yesterday and I'm retired today, but I am tired, but it's tired doing things that I love to do now. My son my son and his family have taken over the business. His wife does what Lori used to do for 40 some years, and Spike took over the business from me. And so I sit here at the ranch unless he needs me. I work with my cattle and get our pull trucks ready for the next pull. So yeah, I'm retired and loving it.
And so that was something else I was going to ask about. I know you're in the cattle business that kind of started as a little hobby, but now it's a full blown deal for you, isn't it?
Get it to a point where it's can make money, so that I'm not a burden to my son. But I'm not so sure that's going to work out the way I go about it. But yeah, it's something we've always loved to do. We've always had a little bit of ground, so you almost had to have some cattle to eat the grass, and we've always enjoyed it. There ain't too many things that are any more pleasurable than riding around in the Ranger on a few hundred acres at night, having a drink and watching the brand new baby calves that were born this morning running around. It's a pretty neat deal.
That is cool. And that's all right at home, right?
Yeah, that's right here at the house.
Very nice.
Yeah.
So with your pulling now, you've got 3 generations, you, your son Spike, and your grandson Garrett competing in the same class. And this year, all 3 of you have won at our events.
Is that
What's
cool
the
or
most
what?
Well, it's great. It's great for you and your team. The rest of us, it's not the best for, but anyways, we don't need to get into that part. But so in the same season, all 3 of you won't have won in the same class. Which one is the most exciting for you? You or watching one of the boys win?
Watching Garrett. Until Garrett, I mean, if I'm not mistaken, Garrett won one of your events before he got his driver's license. I'm not wrong about that, am I? I think
you're right.
I think he got his driver's license the next week or something like that. And I have to say that was kind of a bittersweet situation, because my struggles with that blue truck, and we don't need to go into that. And here my grandson comes out and he's never pulled in his entire life. He went down and made a couple practice runs at Brian's shop track there, and kind of got the feel of it, and then went out and started winning. He's done incredible, and yeah, it's that to me. I remember the first time I watched Spike come down the track in rags, my original pull truck, and I thought that was just about the neatest thing that I'd ever seen, until Garrett drove that blue truck, and it's pretty cool. Watching both of them, actually, I could go to the pulls nowadays and not even pull and have just as much fun just watching these guys. But I'm not ready to do that yet either.
It's definitely awesome having the whole family involved.
It really is cool. I love it.
Yeah.
No. Hey, Brian, before we transition, I see you've got another guest on here. I'm actually going to sign off at this point. I've got some kind of behind on prep work after taking some time off from last week. So I'm going to prep for my teaching job tomorrow. So I'm just going to hand the reins over to Brian Massetti and friends. Jason is backstage. Just let him know whatever videos that you need or you want. And all of you guys from the MLM program, good luck at GSI this weekend. And I will be watching on Full Pull Live for every second of it.
Very good. Thanks, Michael. We'll see
you,
you later.
Thank you all. Yep. Best of luck.
Thanks, Michael.
Yep.
Wow. I think we got a bunch of rookies on here now. I don't know what the hell we're going to do, but we'll figure it out.
You're in the hot seat, buddy.
Hope you know what you're doing there.
Yeah, I don't. But Kev, do you have anything for Donnie before we move on?
No, just looking forward to seeing you again. Look forward to it all summer, every time we get together. Just a fun time, and it is fun to see Garrett coming in and really taking, I don't know, not taking control, that's the wrong thing, but really getting in there and knowing what he's doing, before he ever had any experience. I know Donnie had a lot of saw videos of him backing through the gates at the house and all that stuff. And then when he showed up at the shop to do his first test pass, it was like he'd done it 100 times before. So you did a great job teaching him, and it's neat to see you guys all doing that together.
Thank you. And nothing's going to be more fun than this weekend. It's going to be a fantastic time with all you folks, and I can't wait to get down there. I'm probably going to be the first guy there.
Maybe.
It will be good.
Everett, I watched Everett down at Turlock. He's getting a little taste of this too. That's pretty cool shit, isn't it, Everett?
It is very cool. I have to admit, it's pretty damn cool.
Yeah.
Yes. It's a whole different feeling, that's for sure.
Yeah, it is.
Yep. Everett,
Right,
welcome to
couldn't be any more fun. It is.
for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. So Everett, welcome. Thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you for being a friend. Thank you for all you do for us. A lot of people do know Everett Powell of the American Crane Rental Organization. So Ev, if you don't mind, tell us a little bit about what you do when you're not out truck pulling.
What I do, running the American Crane Rental. We have about 50 cranes we run up and down the valley. Always keep them busy with that. I try to fly an airplane every once in a while, but that don't happen very often anymore. But yeah, basically running a shop and keeping the cranes moving every day. That's for sure.
Big cranes, there's no little stuff here. This is
Some
the
little
big time.
stuff. Yeah, we got some little stuff, but we
No.
try to keep all of them moving, all sizes, for sure.
Definitely. Tell us a little bit about your family.
I got a wife and 2 boys and a daughter. My oldest son's 17, and Tyler's 15, and Allison's 11 years old. Trent just started.
How long have you?
pulling.
Yes. Well, go ahead. So we're going to talk about that too.
Oh, go ahead. What was your question first?
Oh, well, I was going to ask, how long have you and Kate been married?
We've been married 22 years.
That seems to be the hardest question we ask.
Yeah, why do you guys ask that?
Because we're trying to get to know our pullers and friends a little bit.
Oh, okay.
So it looks like we have some American Crane Rental stuff popping up on the screen there. So we've talked about Trent. He's made 2 passes, I believe, in the American Contender. Is that correct?
3 passes.
3? Okay. Made 3.
One
done very well.
practice and two pulls. He did Turlock and then he did MJC.
Oh, that's right. I forgot to practice in Turlock.
Yeah.
And Turlock, during the main show, he even got a little adversity and he handled it like a pro. That was pretty cool to see.
Yes, he did. Especially when I didn't even go over that because I've never had that problem before. So I didn't even tell him anything about that. And he handled it good.
He did. And both of your boys you wouldn't believe they're as young as they are, as much of a help as they are, and just good. Your whole family, just good people.
Well, thank you very much. We try.
Definitely. What's one thing you wish you knew before you got started in pulling? Because you guys have been in what, 7, 8 years, something like that.
Yeah, about that.
So what's something you wish you knew before you started?
It's going to take up a lot of time. But
you wish you knew it was going to take up?
Well worth it, and you meet a lot of great people.
Very good. So what is next for the American Crane pulling team? Any plans to expand the team? Well, first of all, I should mention that.
Oh wow,
you've
there must
got
be a rumor out there.
Well, I mean, Trent's been driving a lot, and I don't think Everett's ready to give up his seat just yet. But you have your trucks. You've got the Pro Stock. Dad's got the Limited Pro and a Super Farm.
Yep.
So what? I mean, you got plenty of trailers. I know that. That's not the issue. So what's next? What are we looking at? What are we gonna do?
Some of them are pretty shiny too.
I know. I don't know yet. We're just kind of waiting and seeing on the track. The tractor is going to stay back east another year, and they're going to run points again next year with it. As far as the pickups, I don't know what we're going to do yet on that. That's still up in the air on that.
Okay.
But Trent, I'm gonna drive it. I'm gonna drive mine Friday night because Trent's got a football game. They're in playoffs for the football, and it's his senior year, so he's got a game Friday night, and then he's gonna come down and drive it Saturday night.
Very
Hopefully
nice.
Hopefully we can pull off a first out of there somehow.
Cool. That's exciting. We're looking forward to seeing that. I don't
Yeah.
think Everett's going pro mod John Bohr, but maybe.
That's been
Oh,
awesome.
we're looking forward. We're looking forward to see what you guys do next. I mean, some people. Well, this is a perfect example. So people like Donnie are pretty smart. They put all the vehicles in one class so that everything they learn pays off for the other vehicle, right? But if you're like
Right.
us, you get 3 different classes, and you don't know what the hell you're doing in any of them. Just makes it fun and tough at the same time, I guess. But
Yeah, but it's good at taking notes, right?
oh yeah, yeah, we take
Trevor's
notes. We
doing
just
good
don't.
at
2
that.
miles from New Mexico. 2 miles from New Mexico. We're in New Mexico. Hell yeah!
So Schultz is in New Mexico. If
with his
they had
with his
Donnie
new
and Lori
tire and
driving,
his
they'd,
wild horse.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
With his little horse Kevin.
I didn't know he
They
was.
named it
I didn't
Kevin.
know he was a cowboy too.
Ah.
Do you have anything for Everett?
I'm not very good at this, obviously. Not very
No,
well
I'm
prepared.
not either, Kevin.
Just looking forward to seeing you too. And I guess looking forward to seeing what you come out with next year. Sounds like we got something new coming. Well,
We do?
exciting. Yeah, sure.
Oh.
Well, we will. I mean, come on. You're gonna need
We'll
something
come
to
up with
drive,
something.
Everett.
We'll come up with something for you.
I don't know. It's pretty fun on the sidelines there watching my son drive.
Yeah, that's pretty neat.
I'll second that. That is cool shit.
I'm with you there
cool.
too. I love seeing the boys drive. It's cool. So
I
and I
remember
want to thank both of you.
Mike asked me to drive Rags, and I said, "You're crazy. That's my truck." and then he did drive it, and I said, "You can drive that thing for." And I made the mistake of giving it to him. Now he won't let me drive it. I haven't driven Rags in 10 years.
Huh.
I sat
Wow.
in it, and started it the other day because I was doing some work on it, and I thought, man, this is a cool truck. I hadn't been in this thing forever.
Yeah.
It is. I'd like to take a minute and thank you both, and Everett, your dad, and Donnie, your son Spike, for both companies have been very supportive of our event since day one of everything we do with pulling. I can't thank you both enough for everything you've done for MLM over the years, from doing repair work on the sleds to hauling it all the way from North Carolina for us. Anyways, we are very appreciative for both of your families for all that you do for us. And we look to continue our friendships and relationships with you guys. So we're very thankful.
Yep, that's for sure.
You're welcome very much.
Well, I feel privileged to be a part of it, and always have, and so long as Everett keeps using my trucks, I'll keep doing it. That's what makes it pop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what, you've both been to the Invitational. Everett, is this the first time your truck's gonna run there, or did it run the first year?
It ran the first year.
First year, okay. So
Yeah.
what is both of your favorite memory or thing about the Invitational?
You gonna go first, Everett?
Yeah, I'll go first. Um, it's a great event. It's an awesome event. Friday night, Saturday, you get some good data for Friday night for Saturday. So it's an awesome event you got going on there. And you get to use the whole track. You don't get choked up like MJC.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's nice.
I agree with that. It's a great track. It's probably, it has the capability to be one of the best tracks in California, and that's always we don't have that wonderful red clay they're always talking about in other parts of the country, and the effort that goes into putting the track together, and the ability of that particular track, it becomes one of the best tracks that we get the opportunity to pull on. But more than anything else, it's the people. I mean, for me, all of my best friends and my family are at this event, and as like most of Brian's events, and that's the most enjoyable part to me. I mean, yeah, the horsepower, the noise, the competition, but more than anything else, it's the people, and it makes for a wonderful environment. The facility, I don't see how we could improve on the facility. There's no dust. We're camped out in the grass and under the trees. I mean, it's awesome. And if you want to make it a better pull next year, Brian, you're going to have a tough way to go, because it's just a fun event, and it's fantastic people, and I can't tell you how much I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be awesome.
Oh, I think so. We are excited. I've not been this excited for a pull in a long time, and I always look forward to this event. But there's something about this year. It's going to be good. So
That's going to be good because you got both of your own sleds there.
yeah,
That's going to be good.
Can't wait to see that new sled go down the track. I watched it go down the track in where the hell was I? North Carolina, and it's a badass sled, and it's exactly like your other one.
No, they're twins. So yeah, we are. She got her new wrap on her, so they look good together. Logan's going to be here to run it for us.
Son of a bitch.
But what we're going to do is everybody, obviously we can't, everybody wants to pull the new sled, but I still got to do some work. So half the classes will be on one sled the first night and half on the other. And then we're just going to switch tracks. So everybody's going to pull both sleds. So what you learn with one sled may or may not help you with the other sled. But anyways, for now, I think we have Lainey Ray waiting in the back room, and Jason could bring her in for us. Lainey compete.
Hello.
Hello.
Thank you for joining us tonight.
Of course.
Looking forward to seeing you and your dad and your mom this weekend.
Oh, we're so excited. The truck's been on a trailer since 2 weeks ago.
Very good. That's what we like to hear.
At the bit, so he's really excited.
Good deal. How's your dad doing?
He's doing better? Good. He's getting better. He's coming down Thursday morning. He's already talked with Spielman about that, and I have to work Thursday, so I'll be hopefully getting off early, but I'll be trucking all the way down from work straight down to Madera with the truck. So he's hoping not to have his vacuum pump on, but he's doing a lot better. He's also told me to say he's not coming on camera. He not happening. So it's just me.
That's why I texted you and not him. I didn't figure he would. Yeah. So this is Mondays with Massetti's and friends. So we just try to get to know our friends a little bit better. So you mentioned you have to work on Thursday. What is it you do?
I work for Holt of California, the cat rental store. I work at the Elk Grove location, so I deal with all of the rentals coming in and out of my yard.
Oh, that's good to know.
Mm-hmm.
We may need to call on that sometime.
I will give you a business card this weekend. I got plenty in my wallet. Ask John Bora. After MJC, we all went to Denny's and we were swapping business cards. We finally have business cards to hand out.
Nice.
The skid steers
Um,
were actually at MJC were out of our Salida store. So.
well, perfect. Thank you for letting us use them.
Mhm.
So tell us a little bit about your family. Your mom and dad are always at the pools. You guys seem to enjoy being together.
Oh yeah. The reason we have a pull truck is mom. So the first pull Dad and I went to, I think, was when Galt FFA did their first truck and tractor pull back in like 2012 with the BTPA. Sat in the stands the first year, and then after that, Dad decided to pull his own truck for the next 2 years at either Stockton or ours, or Mom finally put her foot down and said, no, if you're going to keep doing this, you might as well buy a truck. So if it breaks, it can stay on a trailer. And then it's kind of progressed since then, just a little bit.
Let's say
It's
so.
mom. It's
Right.
mom's fault, but it is a family thing. We enjoy this a lot. We've gotten a lot of my aunts and uncles and my cousins all involved in it. They think it's really cool. My mom grew up around like horsepower and stuff. Her sister actually drag races. My dad grew up around it as well. So kind of like speed and horsepower has always been around, and it's just real fun being able to do it with my dad. So mom loves to support, and we both kind of got to keep an eye on dad because he kind of needs a babysitter sometimes.
Well, that happens. So now it's kind of been the theme tonight with everybody and the families being involved. So that's exciting. Um, any other hobbies you have besides pulling?
Not really. This has probably taken up the most of it. Other than the fact that we have healer puppies that we have been taking care of. I have one of them right here. It's her bedtime, so she's a little tired. So if anyone needs a healer puppy, just ask my dad. We got a couple. One she won't be with us this weekend, but we do have a healer that'll be with us. He's about 10 weeks old now. He just had to have his leg amputated, so he's my dad's pet.
Ah.
So his name is Tucker, and he will be with us at the pools this weekend, just because he needs some care. She's asleep. It's past her bedtime, so she just keeps looking up because she hears voices. This is Cece. Say hi.
Very nice.
She's not nice.
Well, puppies can be a handful.
She's gonna be just like her mom. A lot.
Donnie, do you need any more healers to go with
No,
the
I
two
was
that you
going
already
to
have?
say, nice
Donnie,
try, Jason,
Donnie needs a puppy. Donnie
doesn't have enough cows for the cow dog he has already.
I got a really cute chocolate healer that has your name on it, Donnie.
It's a great name. I mean, don't get me wrong, but I don't need no dog.
No. Right. Well, does anybody here on the panel have any questions for Lainey? Just to get to know each other better?
Have you got your?
I know you do.
Haven't seen you in a couple of pulls. Have you got your new additions to your truck dialed in now?
Hopefully we can stay in the right gear this time.
Cool.
Dad's had a lot of free time on his hands, so he's made sure that I shouldn't have any issues this time.
Cool. Good luck this weekend. You're headed to a great event.
Thanks, Don.
Yes, you are.
I'm excited. This is our first year pulling, so we got to go last year just to hang out, and my dad got to work. So the whole point of moving up to Country Mod was just to be invited to GSI. That was Dad's main goal.
Really?
It worked out. Awesome.
I'm glad it worked out that way.
So am I.
Yeah. Cool. Well, right here over my shoulder, we have a couple of the trophies that y'all are going to be competing for. I happen to have Pro Modified and Pro Stock Diesel. I mean, I opened up the box and those were the first two I found. And lo and behold, we've got a Pro Modified and a Pro Stock Diesel guy coming on tonight. So look at that. I mean,
wow.
I think those would look good on both of your mantles. I don't know.
That's right.
You know, Garrett came up and worked his ass off all weekend helping Grandpa get all this shit ready to go. And I was explaining to him, you know, when I got a glimpse of that ring, and I said, you know, Garrett, we have like a 28% chance of winning that ring, and nobody else has that.
I was going to say, you guys do have a good shot at it. Hey, Christy,
well, the same
can you
truck's
bring me
got
one
to
of the
do
rings?
well both nights, right?
Pardon me?
I said the same truck's got to do well both nights, right?
Yeah,
well, that's true.
But we have
You got
three
a good,
tries.
yeah, you do have pretty good odds.
Yeah, not pretty
No.
good odds, but we have better odds than, say, James.
Ooh.
I think we see it. Here's the ring we're talking about here.
It's a
If you
good
can see
looking
that
ring.
little beauty. They're in these
That'd be
fancy
nice.
little
That's some
boxes this year.
Super Bowl shit right there.
Yeah, it is. We got a little bow on them and everything. They're pretty cool. So, anyways, we're excited. Of course, the one I just showed you is upside down. You probably knew that in the case. But, anyways, the way we do it, since we're talking about the rings, each night is its own competition, of course. There's a purse and points for each night. Our purse structure, our point structure is the same 50, 48, 46, 44, so on and so forth. So the combined points for the weekend come up to the ring winner. Now, being two events, if people flip flop, like let's just say James gets first place one night and second place the next night, and Garrett gets first place one night and second place the other night, that would be a tie. So then we take combined footage. Well, no, the first tiebreaker is the number of wins. So if somebody had one win, and anyways, but let's say they both swap places, so they both have one win. We take combined footage from both nights, and that's the tiebreaker. And we've actually had to do that in the past. Last year, I know 2 classes came down to footage, so
Oh, wow.
kind of exciting. So, and this year, what we're looking at doing is, and I brought up James and Garrett because those 2 youngsters, James has had some help from Uncle Kev and Trevor, but for the most part, those 2 young fellas have been going back and forth in the pro modified points. And I want to say they're separated by 2 points right now, which is only one position on the track. So it's going to come down to whoever has the best weekend for our whole season. That's obviously separate than the Golden State Invitational ring winning and the trophies behind me. But it's exciting because it could be number of wins, it could be the total distance you pull. It's cool. What we're looking at doing this year is having our ring ceremony or our championship ceremony right on the front stretch of the racetrack right after the pull Saturday night. Some of the crowd can stay and watch. Everybody can just kind of gather around. Unless it gets real cold, then we'll move it back to the building where lunch is. But our plan right now is just do it out in the open. Everybody can be there, and then we can go out and load up, get everything out of the pits, and go hang out in the campground because we do have to clear the pits out again Saturday night for the swap meet that comes in early Sunday morning. But all we got to do is get loaded up, get everything out of there, and then everybody can hang out and have a good time. Plenty of parking out front to move all the transporters out and whatnot. But definitely from start to from whenever people get there Thursday till they leave Sunday, should just be the best event you've been to. Even better than last year, just because it's this year.
It was pretty good last year.
Yeah, we had a good time, and unfortunately, Jason Schultz is leaving early Saturday night. Being a good dad, getting home for his daughter's recital on Sunday, but we will miss him at 3 a.m. But anyways, I think Uncle Kev will
On the
fit
bright
his
side,
shoes.
he won't have near the headache he had last year.
This is true. This is
Gonna feel
very
a lot
true.
better. Yeah.
Yeah. He'll be tired, but he won't be in as bad a shape. So
So do I understand this correctly? He's driving across country now, and then he's going to fly home?
Yes. So they were at the Diesels and Dark Corners in Georgia this past weekend. They did the live stream
Sounds
on
like
Full
quite
Pull
the
Live.
event too, huh?
Yes. Huge.
I was watching that show earlier, and I was watching last week when they were promoting it. That sounds like quite a nice event too.
Yes, definitely. So they're bringing the Full Pull Live. They're bringing the production trailer out. That's what Jason's hauling out with the motorhome. Jason and Kinsey and Doug Borth, and then I think they're meeting up with the rest of the Full Pull crew in Las Vegas, and then they'll come out here.
Exactly why is he not bringing his tractor to California? Is he too good for us, or what's the story with that?
I think he's afraid, but
sense.
I don't know. The guy's kind of hard to pin down, but he
pretty busy horse racing lately, from what I've heard.
Yes, he is, and changing tires and whatnot. But I think
every right to change it, but that one was pretty done.
For sure. Actually, I think the truth of it is that Doug, not Doug Borth, but Doug that's been keeping Jason's tractor. His tractor is not put back together yet. They were wanting to bring them both out, and it didn't work out. So I think next year he'll have it running and get it out here. Scrappy's not running
off because I've seen an awful lot of people have gotten their picture taken next to that beautiful tractor, and I haven't been asked to do that yet. But who am I?
Yeah. Maybe we could get Jason's picture next to your truck. I mean, it's not near as good, but Jason's picture is not as good. The truck is.
I was hoping to pull that off, him and that whatever, that horse.
Yeah, I think the horse is gonna make a lot of appearances.
Yeah.
So maybe we can go around the screen here, and you could think about one thing that we could do to improve this event. Just something either big or small. Something you think would make this whole weekend better for everybody. And I'm going to start with Lainey.
Oh, why you got to put me first? No, I don't think there's really much that you could change. I mean, after watching last year, it was pretty good. It was pretty awesome how everybody was able to promote it. And it was pretty much everyone that was pulling that was promoting it. And I know I've personally been trying to promote it to get a lot of people out there. I've talked to all of my low bed drivers about it, trying to get them to come out because a lot of them actually live south but work north. So a lot of them are starting to come out and they're liking it. And I've been posting on the full page, my personal page. I'm pretty sure a lot of my family is going to get onto the Full Pull and watch. So,
Lenny, I love you. Lenny, I love you. Share. Post.
I mean, that's how we can get everyone to watch. Bring truck pulling to the people because we all love it. Why not show what we love? I know my favorite thing is when I tell people, they're like, oh, what's your hobby? I say, oh, truck pulling. And they're like, what's that? And then I show them. They're like, oh, that's awesome. So just get the word out. It's more of all of the pullers that just need to promote.
You have been doing a great job, and we appreciate that. I love your little countdown thing you're putting up, and so that is great. So,
hey, why aren't we sharing at the MLM Motorsports? Brian Massetti.
What's that?
Why aren't we sharing her stuff to MLM?
We did today.
I think we are.
Are we? Well, I haven't. This motorhome's driving me crazy. So,
I'm trying, man. I'm doing my best on social media.
Okay.
You're not driving,
I'm also.
Schultz.
Are you driving, Jason? Or are you in the?
No, Doug's driving.
Oh.
Doug's driving. Doug drove the majority of the way. But
that's probably a good
better
thing.
That way.
What's that, Donnie?
That's probably a good thing.
No, I drove for about an hour last night. He said he couldn't sleep with the thought of me driving, so we just pulled over and everybody slept. Kenzie drove for like 3 hours tonight so Doug could have a nap. But we are in New Mexico now. And this is Melanasio has Italian talent, and Kevin Massetti has. Kevin, what should we name our little friend? Third engine?
Third, I don't know. We'll come up with something good.
I spent $17 on this at Love Travel Stuff. That's how much.
No, that's an investment.
You guys should have seen that guy's face that changed our tire today when I brought this out. And I said, "Don't look in the trailer, buddy. Don't look in the trailer." He started telling. I can't do this on the podcast, but it was fun. It was fun. We're having a good time. Lanny, but seriously, thank you for sharing on social, because that's what I've been saying that. That's what it's all about. I want those damn grandstands full, or Massetti's gonna fire me, and I won't go to California anymore. So
probably not, but if that's what it's going to take to get Jason to keep promoting, that's what we'll do. But Ev, what would you say we could do to improve this event?
I think the pull itself is pretty awesome. I think did you say Ev or Kev?
I said Ev, but you answered. That's good.
Oh,
I usually call you Kev and I call him Ev. So
I know. I just thought of
either
that.
one, you guys can,
Everett, you go
tag
first.
team it.
Hey, Ev, you go.
I think it's an awesome event the where it is and the way it is. I don't believe you need to change anything. I think it's a great event the way it is.
I think Everett's spot on, and we just got to get the word out every year, and it's only going to grow. Like Diesels and Dark Corners, Brian. There's not a lot of polls in Georgia, like there's just not, and it took them a while to get this thing going. And we're in year 3 or year 4 of this. Brian,
The Invitational year 3. Year 3.
Okay, it takes sometimes 5 years to really blast something off. But with Lanny's help on social media, I think we can really take it to the next level this year.
Hey, can you say that usually year 3 is successful? Because Christy's listening in the other room.
Oh yeah.
If year 3 goes like,
maybe year 3 will start to break even, Christy. That's what I'm hoping.
yeah, because if year 3 goes like year 2, there won't be a year 4. I can tell you that.
Oh man,
You said that about year 1
brings
too.
Me good luck. Hope it brings me good luck.
I think the unicorn is what's going to help us turn the corner this year.
Yep,
for sure.
All right, now, Kevin, what do you have?
Kind of the same thing that they were saying, but I think the pull itself is great. You're showcasing a lot of what we have already in California, which is good stuff, and people don't know that from across the country, but which is cool with the live stream and everything, because it does kind of get out there. But also, just like having the tractors coming from New York, and some others from where else are they coming from? Idaho, Oregon,
Washington, Utah,
Washington,
Nevada,
Utah. So it seems like that's kind of going in the right direction too. We're not probably going to get a whole lot from the East Coast, but it's maybe puts a few more eyes on the poll, on the whole thing, just that maybe more people would start noticing, I guess. And again, I don't think that the poll needs much more, but I think, we need to fill the stands for sure. And I think everybody's trying their best to do that. And that's going to be an effort from everybody involved, and social media, or putting posters in the hardware store or whatever, handing out flyers. I think it's going in the right direction. Seems like.
Definitely.
That's all.
And you helping those gentlemen at the hardware store that day figuring out how to order the tickets. That's the best thing.
I think we got 2 more ticket holders.
Hey,
and they did. The funniest part was, the funniest part was when I was like, they were standing outside looking at it. I said, "That's going to be cool, huh? You guys going to the tractor pull?" And the guy's like, "Man, it would be so cool to drive one of those things." And I was like, "Probably, yeah. Let's come on out." So I think they're buying tickets.
No. So, well, and I think everybody knows Kev's my younger brother, but Kevin does a lot to help. People think it's all, us with being MLM, but it's my whole family. Kevin and Amanda and the girls, my parents, Christy, my kids. It's our whole family pitching in. And Kevin, I do appreciate everything you do for us. Um, Also, the beer garden at the Speedway is Kevin's beer garden. That's the name of it. So we want to thank Kevin for his help with that too. But so
happy to lend my name to that.
The bartender at the Speedway was pissed off the first year that somebody else's name was above her bar, and then she found out it was him, and she says, "Oh, it's okay, it's all good." So Donnie, you of all of us, you've been to the most big pulls of anybody. So what do you think we can do to improve it?
Well, I that's a hard question, and I was sitting here thinking about it. Thank God I didn't have to go first. It would be a hard one to improve on. It's a fantastic event. I would go along with what Kevin had to say. Is more new faces. I would if it was up to me, I would suggest to invite some people that bring a lot to the sport and add a lot to the fun of the sport. For instance, invite my buddy Ken Summers from Buckner, Missouri, out here with his family and their tractor. And I mean, it's a beautiful piece of equipment. It's a beautiful family. They bring a lot to the sport. And I'm sure there's many people just like that all over the country. And that, we, as you well know, we aren't known for pulling like they are all over the Midwest, and so other than what you've thought of and what you've done already, that's the only thing that comes to mind for me, is to bring more new faces, more competition, more competitive equipment, that sort of thing. And just nothing makes more fun than more competition.
That is true. And you hit the nail on the head. Like if the Summers, for example, if we were able to get them here, and then we show them what we have here, then they go back and say, "Hey, California's no joke. They got some real pullers out there." So
that's right.
It just helps elevate everything for all of our pullers. Which, I mean, let's face it, we're on a podcast called "Let's Grow Pulling," and that's what we're trying to do. So. I think we're going to officially change the name to Monday Nights with Massetti's and Friends, but for now we'll let them keep the name Let's Grow Pulling. But anyways, I appreciate all of you there. But another thing Christy wanted me to mention was that all of our merch is online to be ordered. Everything is for sale. All of our merch. Thank you, Jason, for putting that up. If you order now, before Wednesday, your orders will be bagged up and ready for you to pick up either at the merch booth in the grandstands, or if you're pulling, then it'll be at the registration booth when you check in. Which registration will open at 10 o'clock on Friday and Saturday. We do need everybody to remember Saturday we do have to go sign a new insurance waiver and get a different pit pass. The insurance company just wants to see everything. It's a whole nother event, so we need a whole nother waiver signed. Seems silly, but it is what it is. And our merch is very cool this year. I think we've got diesel pickup represented. We have a beautiful blue triple throwdown pull truck on there, and then we put Jason's favorite tractor, the old Italian Stallion, on there. We do have hats, hoodies, t-shirts. So get it while it lasts. We probably going to sell out of hoodies because it's going to get chilly. So if we get your orders in, and the girls will get everything packed up and ready for you.
That works pretty good too, because Lori ordered a dozen shirts or whatever today while we were eating breakfast.
Well, we appreciate that. We did not order like the 3-4X. We do have some, but we didn't order very many because those do get expensive. So, and when they're gone, they're gone.
We can bring that up while I'm talking. I don't know what's
No, no,
going on with that.
that was bad timing. Christy just walked in and told me to say that. And so, anyways, but we do have we got the merch coming in. We got everything ready. I think I'm just excited. This is going to be great. Christy's been working her little tail off, getting all this done for us, the website stuff. So can't thank her enough for everything. It's all coming together. Start moving equipment in tomorrow, and then Thursday we can start filling up the pits. Pits will open at 1 o'clock on Thursday for those that are coming in early. If you get there beforehand, we can just park the haulers out front or in the parking lot. They just the agreement between the speedway and the swap meet people is they have until 1 o'clock to get it all cleaned up and dressed up and ready. So
can we go in the RV park before that?
Yes.
Cool.
You can get in the RV park whenever you want. And if that big parking lot where you've parked your transporter before there along the pit road, you could just park there until we can get in. Cool. So we are looking forward to this. It's going to be great. Anybody have anything they want to add? I do apologize. We don't have our Facebook game tonight. James is very busy at school, and plus he's ditching a couple days to come home.
Oh, no.
He's in this big.
We have it. He sent us a spreadsheet.
He did?
Yeah.
Yeah, he sent me some stuff too, and I just realized why he sent it to me. We can work it if you guys want.
We got to do this with Lanny and Everett.
If you guys got time, let's play James's Facebook game.
Yeah, we're just driving across the country to see your smiley ass, so it's all good.
Yeah, let's do it. He did text me earlier. I've been pretty busy today, and he texted me this morning the list, and it had all the prices on it, and I was like, it's kind of cheating, James. But then I remembered he told me he would send it to me so I could do it, and then I just remembered that. Yeah,
Kevin, Kenzie's gonna put it on the screen, but we can't hear you guys very good because the motorhome's loud. So you're gonna have to just run with it. Just tell us what to put up next, Kevin. Okay?
Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, it's gonna be terrible, but it'll be funny.
Yeah, probably more funny because it's not gonna work. We lost Donnie.
So I don't know if you guys have seen our Monday night episodes where James finds these random Facebook marketplace items. He shows us the item in a description, and then we all go around and we guess what they're asking for the item. And then you get 1 point if you're the closest without going over, which is like Price is Right rules. You get 3 points if you get exactly the point. I mean the price, and the overall winner gets a GSI T-shirt, but there's no guarantee of the year or the size of the T-shirt. So that's kind of the rules. I feel like we have 3 very honest guests tonight, so nobody will be sitting next to them with a phone or an iPad or another computer looking for these said items. Oh shit, Donnie's got Marketplace up already. So
I don't know what Marketplace is, so you guys are safe.
I was worried when we were supposed to have Spike on here because I know he's a big fan of the Marketplace. So
he might be an investor.
He could be. It's a good way to look at it. So if we can get our first slide up there, so Kev, you have it with you?
Well, yeah. I mean, let's say, I don't know how this is going to work, but yes, I have kind of like a.
Give me a minute, guys. We're having New Mexico internet sucks ass, so give us just a second. Sorry for saying, Lanny. Sorry for talking like that.
So do
Lanny,
their politics.
I'm worse.
What's that, Donnie?
So do their politics, but we won't go there.
Yeah, vote tomorrow, everybody.
Yep.
So,
do you want me to give a little teaser of the first one? Like I can do a description.
No, Kevin, wait. Just give us 1 minute.
Okay.
Kev, do you have something to write down everybody's guesses?
Give me a sec.
Well, without the boys here, this just goes to hell in a hurry.
Yeah,
Huh?
I was going to say without James, I don't know if this is going to fly or not.
Well, we're gonna try it. So
James added that personality angle to it. The boy does a good job.
yes, he does. And while we're talking about James, tomorrow is James's 19th birthday. So I'm gonna say happy birthday, James.
Happy birthday,
Happy
James.
birthday, James.
Happy birthday, James. Don't
Happy
study
birthday.
too hard. I wouldn't want you in brain fog come Friday night. You might slip up.
Jason, if you can hear me, Christy said she's putting the video in for you. But anyways, James, we are proud of you there in Dallas, Texas. All right, Schultze, you ready?
No, one more minute. Keep talking.
One more minute. So, Friday is Kevin's daughter's birthday, Emily.
Is that the one that
How old's
sings
she gonna be?
the anthem?
Mm-mm.
This is
That's the
Emily.
young
She's
one.
the cook. She's the chef.
She's the cook.
Yeah.
And then the 9th is, I don't know if anybody's got a birthday on the 9th. I haven't heard. But we're gonna have good, awesome truck and tractor pools Friday and Saturday night, 6 p.m. Madera Speedway. Gates open 5 o'clock. Food trucks there. Tickets are $20. Veterans and children are 10. We want to thank all of our veterans. This is Veterans Weekend. So we would not be able to do this and live in this wonderful, beautiful country without the veterans. And hopefully Mr. Trump is president by the time we get to our pool.
Yes, that would be nice.
God will.
We'll just have to vote and pray. So
Been doing that all day.
yep. It'd be cool if we could vote like the Democrats and vote as many times as you want.
Yeah, I was contemplating it, to tell you the truth. I was going to vote for my parents. They've been dead for 100 years.
We should be able to, but we don't. Anyways, Kev, give us a teaser on this first Facebook find, if you would.
First one. I'm not going to go too deep, but you'll see it soon. The first one is a vehicle. It's paid off. This baby is paid off. There's no loan on it.
Well, wait. Where are these market items from? Are they from the Fresno area or are they from Northern California? Because there's a price
James
difference.
Scours.
Or
James
the
does
Bay
like
Area.
a nationwide
or the Bay
scour.
Area.
No,
No.
it's all over. It's been
I'll tell
Missouri, Canada, anywhere.
I'll tell you when
We
it
don't
comes. Well, the first one's from Tennessee.
I had to do a conversion on the dollar for a while.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, they're
But
from the
James
United
was on
States.
top of that. I don't want to put you down, Kevin, but come on, man.
No, we're not playing the game yet. But I'll tell you, the first one's from Jamestown, Tennessee.
Oh gosh.
So if that tells you anything.
Got a little rust.
She's got a couple different tire and wheel setups to choose from. We'll just go for it. I'm not even going to tell you what it is. It's got a BBC cubic inch question mark. Big block. Don't know the cubic inch. Okay, here we go. As I said, this baby's paid off. Looks to be a pull truck in the 6,200 pound class.
6,200 pound vehicle.
Well, you read it, Everett.
No.
They'll only discuss.
Myself.
Well, you were sort of reading it to everybody. They'll discuss info only on the phone or in person. Sale or trade will not answer to is it available. Only reason for sale is to get to one class. This guy must be a multi-class puller. So I think you've got enough info. Let's get some guesses. I think the rule is you guess closest without going over. If you hit it dead on, you get 3 points. So
well.
Can I go first?
Did he just show the price?
I'm going to go with 30,000.
I'm gonna go with 30,000.
Let's all say 30,000 on this one.
30,000.
30,000.
30,000.
Okay, we're gonna need a
Yeah.
tiebreaker.
Hey, we're all right.
I need
Well,
a
that was a good
tiebreaker.
practice round.
They need to make the screen bigger on that because you can see it on the screen.
Oh shoot, you can see it right
Yeah,
there.
no shit, huh? God, even
I can't. I got no control over this.
I know.
Jason, figure it out.
Okay. I wish I could think of a tiebreaker question.
I didn't realize James was that talented.
Oh, he's
But
got this thing
evidently
down.
James is.
Okay, but
James
you
is
have to
super crafty.
you have to cover that left side, Schultz, somehow, because it's showing everybody the answers.
Make it bigger. Click on the right next to
You guys-
the one next to the X.
Look away from the screen, everybody.
Okay.
How can we see this
the screen.
good use? But we got to see the good used golf cart with all the speakers on it. Jesus, how many speakers that thing got?
Okay, Schultz.
That looks like some of the cars you see in Oakland with 13 antennas and no radio.
Well, it's got all new speakers, 3 12-inch subs, new horns, wires, tweeters, battery alignment. It runs about 30. 22-inch rims, ready to go. Everything is pretty much new. This one's in
You know who
Florida.
would be interested in
Oh,
that
God
is
damn it.
that crazy, wild ass, crazy.
I'm gonna go with
friend of
8
yours,
grand.
Brian.
I'm gonna go 8,000.
8,000.
Donnie, you did it
6,500.
already? Thank you. Brian, did you guess?
I'm gonna say 79.99.
That's pretty close. I'm not even writing these down. Did everybody
No.
see the next one
I
too?
think
No,
Don't lie.
I didn't. I only saw this one.
Everybody's got 30 points. Great. We're doing so good. Okay.
All right. Here's a
feel
legit
like-
one.
This, well, sort of, except cheater over there looked at him.
I
This
didn't
is a
see it.
light limited super stock Ford 5000 needled rear end, quick change gearbox, chassis weight. It's only 3,800 pounds without the engine and clutch. Will sell without the sheet metal. You can get it without anything on it, a la carte. The price does not include the weights or rear tire. Well, I think you're just buying that those tubes up there. Yeah.
You're
Top
buying
left
free
picture is
front
all you're gonna
tire.
get.
Yeah.
So
You'd be
we're
lucky
talking
to
a
get front
strip
tires.
chassis.
That sounds like it. But it says will sell without. Oh, yeah, there's no option. He's only selling without the sheet metal. So let's get some guesses. Let's do this.
It's just a tube chassis, so 25.
2,500.
It's
Okay.
just a chassis. It's just a chassis, guys. Okay.
Okay. I think we got that.
See at the top where it
Um,
says chassis.
Oh, shoot. I didn't read that part. Everett, what's your guess, buddy?
I would say 8,000.
Discrepancy. Brian?
6,000.
6,000. Donnie Reeve?
13.5.
13.5. Okay, let's see it. Wow. That's
wow.
Yeah,
I
buddy.
ain't
Marketplace.
kidding you, man. I don't know where Marketplace is.
It's 100 points for Donnie.
Nice.
That's good. Okay.
How many points did he get?
100.
Oh, okay.
Now the next one, we got a wheelie mower.
Is that
Baby
George
Pop
Jones?
wheelies. Looks like it. She forgot about his old John Deere. He's got a mower deck. Wait, the deck and the hood are removed. Used it for running wheelies only. It's got a brand new pulley and belt. This thing's pretty easy to wheelie. This mower's got great potential, except if you want to mow the lawn, we'll need a battery. But he's got one to show that it runs. And this one's in Danielsville, Georgia. Take
Needs
a minute.
A battery and a Coors Light.
Yeah. Okay. Case, battery, Coors Light. Okay. Let's go to Lanny.
1,500.
Let's go to Brian.
1,700.
1,700. Let's go to Ev.
300.
300 big ones. Okay. Okay, that was cheating again. Nice to see we've all got integrity here. Let's go to the next one.
And this is the one that I said that with these three guests are the most honest we've ever had.
Well, I mean, to be honest, Schultz made it pretty easy.
They were all, I know.
Okay, this we've
So
got
much
a
for
swamp
future
buggy.
invites, huh?
This thing was
I
converted
can't
over
believe that
from
guy
a
only
mini.
wanted 300 for that thing.
I know, dude. Wheaties.
Yeah, I think Everett already got a call in on that one. This thing's got a straight six.
I was going to say, I'll bet Kevin's putting a bid in on this one.
Yeah, this one's pretty sick. Let's. It's been sitting for a while. The motor makes noise. It'll probably need a new motor, but it still runs how it is. I think that's what that says. That doesn't make any sense. It's from Florida, Miami, Florida. It's got that straight six in there and a power glide. Any guesses?
$4,950.
That was Donnie. $4,950. Very good. Lenny?
$5,000.
Ooh. Kind of hard on Donnie there. Everett?
Let's go 6,000.
6 cannolis. Brian?
2,500.
Closest without going over is Brian. That's a point. Very good. Next slide. Polaris.
I like how
Razor.
Donnie gets 100 points, but Brian gets 1.
No shit. That's what I was thinking.
And I'm sorry that I screwed up the beginning and that Everett's a cheater, but I'm not used to PowerPoint. Not in college. So
How am I a cheater?
Because you knew the damn ones. Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
So Kevin called you Gito Everett.
Yeah.
No.
Doing a pretty
right,
good job.
this
I'm not
bike.
gonna lie. Kev.
What's that?
Polaris Razor.
You're not as good as James, but you're doing pretty good.
Thank you, I guess. The this bike has a 10-inch lift with, is that what they call them, bikes?
Hey, hey Kev.
Yeah.
Kev, is my sound coming through okay?
Yeah, you sound real good.
All right, so let me do it then, all right? Because I'm gonna give a little more James, okay?
Oh gosh.
Well, yeah.
All right, fans. So what we have here is a
gonna
Polaris Razor 1000. Kevin, shut up. All right, you can guess.
Yes on this.
So as you can see here in the details, this bike has a 10-inch lift with Rhino 2.0 axles. If you don't know, that's kind of a big deal. A remodeled front end with fang lights like teeth, like Dracula. A turbo hood, has a custom sub box for a 12-inch sub. That's for the bitches. And the back has a custom cage ass, 24x10 TK forged rims. Those are cool. And down in Compton on 50-inch BK tires, the same thing they use in Monster Jam. 10 lug Dolph spinning caps. Let me say it one more time. 10 lug Dolph spinning caps. Full aluminum doors, more horse. Powder coat color is illusion blue board. Has heavy duty longer studs like Donnie Reeve used to be back in the day. Has a custom steering wheel from Psychotic. 24 rock lights. Has a DS18 big battery. I have no idea what that means, but for the people who buy these, that must be pretty cool. Everything else is painted and in perfect shape. Arcadia, Florida. Florida. Oh, I did so good until the end. Brian Massetti, Everett, you go first.
Way to go,
Cheater.
Schultz.
That was pretty funny. Everett, you go first. Kevin, write these down.
25,000.
Uh-oh.
25,000. Got that wrote down, Kevin?
Gee, yeah. Yeah, I wrote it down.
Okay, Brian Massetti, BMass.
I'm gonna go with 12,500.
Lenny.
I was gonna go with 20,000.
Okay, and D. Reeve.
Well, because I know firsthand that the 1,000 is like whatever. That's like 4 models ago, right? So that's old.
Yes.
That's old shit right there. So that guy's obviously moved on to some decent equipment. So I'm going to say 10 grand.
Okay, and last but not least, our gracious host, Kevin Massetti.
He knows the price.
I do.
He doesn't know
and
the
I
price.
guess
Oh, he does?
Yeah, that's a $69,000 machine.
69,000.
Guess what? Everett cheated again.
Everett cheated.
Maybe he's
How many
just
points does Zev get?
way smart.
100.
Everett gets
100. Everett gets
half a
100.
point.
Half a point.
He gets a half a
That's
point
it.
on that.
Oh, half a point now.
And right there is the end of the slideshow. The room that James is in, they have no lights tonight.
Yeah, we're gonna need to get James back on this segment here.
Yeah.
We tried.
It's fun, but it's not quite as fun without James.
No, James is special.
It has that flavor to it.
We will definitely get you three back at least into one of the Facebook games all together because you deserve better. We kind of failed the Facebook game tonight, so we're going to bring you all back for another round of Facebook Marketplace.
We had good intentions. We had good intentions.
We tried.
We tried.
You guys
But
did a good job.
clearly, you can see who the brains of this group is. It's not Kevin or myself.
No, I think it's
Lanny, are you gonna start coming in on Monday nights?
if we start a little earlier because this is way past my bedtime. As my dog would say,
I
she
second that.
passed out on the floor.
I don't even
I'm
know
with
what
you
time
there.
zone.
I usually am in bed by 7 o'clock every night.
We really appreciate you making an exception for
Of
us.
course.
Wow, Lanny, you like to party, Lanny.
Sometimes. I did last year at GSI Friday night, but Saturday night I went to bed. I was tired.
She's kind of young to be talking like that, isn't she?
I think
Yeah,
so.
but I understand what it means to get up and work, so I choose sleep. I choose sleep so I'm good for work the next day. I've done the partying all night and waking up early. It's not fun, so I choose to go to sleep. I'm only 26.
I think I
on behalf
thought of
of
a name.
all of us here at Let's Grow Pulling, I want to thank my unicorn, Kevin Massetti,
Oh,
who's going to bring good luck. Kevin, we're going to mount this collar. It's got a stick. We're putting it right on the roll cage for you, buddy. Right next to the GoPro.
sweet.
Sweet. Okay. In all seriousness, Brian Massetti, thank you for doing this, you and Christy. It's a labor of love. You're growing something special out there. I'm glad that you have big help and sponsorship. I know there's more than just Ev and Donnie that came on tonight, but I know they're a big part of it. You have a great team. You're getting pullers from New York that run Grand National and Champions Tour. This thing's on the come. We need to, as pullers out west, we need to let our fans know. I mean, we really do. Pulling is not as big of a deal out there, and it is the greatest motorsport on earth. And I'm telling you guys, with the full Pull Live subscription, there's a big database that's going to see this. It's going to be pretty awesome. So I'm excited.
Definitely. We are too. Thank you for the opportunity to be on here with you.
How much did you say you wanted to buy the podcast? I heard earlier you were willing to change the name of the podcast. I said everything's for sale. So I think is that what you were referring to?
Yeah, I caught that. It's all good.
It's all good.
Hang on.
But yeah, let's put a poll on this. Right. Huh?
No, I did. Christy was reminding me to thank our two major sponsors, American Crane and Reef Trucking, and I said I did earlier. And we are very grateful to the Reed family and the Powell family for all that they do for us. We are looking forward to seeing everybody. People start rolling in Thursday, Friday. It's going to be filled up. Friday night, 6 p.m. We're going to let the green flag and the dirt fly. It's going to be awesome. Thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight. I do apologize to you three for our lackluster Facebook game, but we will get James back. We will make it.
Do it
We
again.
will make Facebook Marketplace great again. We're working on keeping pulling great out here. It's beautiful. We're going to keep growing it. We're going to keep doing it. Thank you all. Jason, do you have anything to add?
See you all Thursday.
On behalf of everyone involved, Jason, you all drive safe. You guys be careful out there. Have fun. All of our competitors traveling, if you're traveling from Madera, Chowchilla, Utah, Washington, there's Miss Lori.
There's Lori.
Wherever you're traveling from, travel
Yeah.
safe. We look forward to seeing everybody. Somebody was asking to see Lori. I think it was Lainey was
That was
asking
me.
to see Lori
I was
earlier.
asking.
So,
I said I want to see
Lori,
Lori.
thanks for joining us.
Oh, yeah.
Lori, do you have anything to add?
Nope.
Be careful, honey.
Nope. Well, Lori,
All
thank
right,
you for
you guys
joining
have
us.
a good night.